Good evening, folks. Welcome to tonight's edition of the Whitfield Report. I'm your host, Sam Whitfield, broadcasting live here from NGC Studios for another great edition of the Whitfield Report here on Saturday night. And I want to thank you all for joining me here wherever you are in the past, present, future hour. If you're listening to this over in podcast land, I want to thank you for joining us as well. Contact info as usual. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SamW_NDC. You can follow me on Gab and Parler at Sam Whitfield. Facebook.com/Whitfield Report. TheSamWhitfield.com is down right now, but we will be getting that back up here within the next week. Just have some other financial things that I need to take care of. Although, if you would be so inclined, streamlabs.com/Whitfield Report to throw a couple bucks to get the site back up and running, and really appreciate it. Anything you can do to help is appreciated, but not necessarily. Not necessarily needed. To like and share the stream. And also, we're streaming on YouTube and DLive and Periscope, as always. And tonight, I am joined by both Dictator Phil and Apex Gamma, and we are going to be discussing the RNC and kind of the aftermath of that, and then discussing some of the news. So, gentlemen, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing quite well. I'm quite happy to see Dictator Phil here. Thanks for joining us, man.
You keep calling me Dictator Phil. What the crap? No, I'm just playing.
You are not fluffy, Phil. You're fucking tough and manly. So
well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is good. This is a good week. I mean, my personal life is always boring with work and saying stupid stuff online. But yeah, I mean, this is a good week. Well, as far as interesting stuff in the news, I guess, because you had the convention, you had the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, the Jacob, whatever his name is. It's the week's been a mess, but it's great. It's
entertaining,
great radio,
interesting.
It's great radio.
Yeah,
I agree. In an absolute shitstorm, like a light, a slight beam of sunlight shines through every now and again, and you got to kind of take it. You got to take the small joys in life when the whole world's fucking coming down around us, I guess. So to speak.
Yeah, it's gonna get. I mean, of course, you're gonna get the media. I know we're talking about the RNC, and they're talking about the media is continuously lying and talking about the viewership numbers and all that stuff, and it's only gonna get worse. It's really only gonna get worse. The media is gonna continue lying like there's no tomorrow, and the lies are gonna be worse and more frequent. You're gonna have you're gonna have Twitter and Facebook and all those guys. They're gonna be a lot. Not only are they gonna be lying, they're gonna be pushing for their pro CCP BS, and they're and they're gonna be censoring everybody that isn't remotely hard left, and it's gonna get worse before the election until we're just gotta get ready.
I agree. I think it's definitely going to get worse before it gets better. I don't know, in exactly what fields of battle, so to speak, that it's going to get worse in. But for sure, the things like you're pointing out, the media lies and the gaslighting and just flat out fake news and false reporting, that shit's not going to go. That's definitely going to ramp up. Yeah, that's definitely going to ramp up.
It's going to get worse in all of them.
And as our friend A Storm of Wrenches likes to point out, in our Danger Zone Discord, Apex, it's 2020. So things in every sense are bound to get shittier because it's 2020, and and so why not? I mean, it honestly wouldn't surprise me at this point if extraterrestrials came down and invaded. That would be like the least shocking thing to happen at this point. So
I don't think they're stepping foot on this planet. I think they either don't come at all, or they just blow up the whole damn thing. They're like, well,
Yeah.
they had a good run. Oh, this thing was a total disaster. This is an experiment gone wildly wrong. Let's blow the whole thing up.
well,
I'm not gonna lie to you. It feels so much more like the Jewsians episode of South Park. More and more every day. We're like this can't be real. All of this shit that's happening, it's like it's so real, so real, I guess by definition. But it's like it would make sense if this shit was we were just like a fucking experiment and entertainment for some other species. Like, what do you mean? You think that's how the universe works? No, there's a planet of deer, a planet of Asians, a planet of black people. We put them all together. That's crazy. Like, I don't know.
yeah, I mean, it's just the thing that's funny to me is we're in hurricane season right now, and I'm not saying that hurricanes aren't serious, but everyone in Florida, because it's Florida, always kind of freaks out because of hurricanes, and I was like to my neighbors, I'm like, guys, a hurricane happening here would be the fucking most normal thing to happen this year. I mean, we have to deal with it every year, so it's kind of normal at this point. But
yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me, because I'm up north, like in the upper Midwest. So, come December, January, it starts dumping snow, and people that have lived up here their whole freaking lives start losing their shit. And I'm like, the idea of a massive snowstorm locking everybody inside would be so normal. I almost would look forward to it. Like, that would be a good reason to stay inside, not
yeah.
I don't know. That's a terrible point, but you get what I'm saying.
So anyway, gentlemen, the title of tonight's episode is Trump's victory looking almost undeniable. And that's kind of how I'm feeling after this week's RNC. Now, if you caught my Wednesday audio show, folks, you know that I was kind of less than enthusiastic by the first two nights of the RNC. They kind of seemed pretty boring to me. But man, first of all, Melania Trump's speech the second night was the one good thing I liked, and then Trump's speech on the last night, to me, was excellent. And just your thoughts on the RNC. If I don't know, did either of you watch it? Or I was kind of busy this week, so I only got to watch certain parts of it. But what did you guys think generally?
Well, I was on Versa Media when right after the Don did his speech, and I thought pretty much the same thing you did. But I was like, I kind of felt like after the DNC that there was a possibility, like there was a possibility for us to counter, like there was blood in the water, because the DNC, they had their convention, and through all of that BS, they gained nothing in the polls. For me, I was like, dude, this is blood in the water. If the RNC nails everything, which they did, we could seriously make an impact. And that's exactly what happened. And furthermore, because of like that, I felt like the DNC was the Democrats' last big shot at really doing anything, because you're not out campaigning Donald Trump. You're not out raising Donald Trump. You're not and we're not even talking, we didn't even talk about the debates yet. The debates are still going to have to happen, and if you don't debate him, then he wins there too. Like
But
I don't see where the DNC is going to catch ground from here on out.
that's a good point, and I want to bring up something that I brought up in Versa Media's chat room the other night because I was watching you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because half my audience, like me, likes Joe Rogan. The other half of my audience thinks that Rogan is like a, shill or an establishment fraud or whatever. I still love you guys too that listen, even though you guys aren't a fan of Rogan. But Rogan made a good point 6 months ago that if Biden has to debate Trump is just going to eat him alive because Biden has no idea where he is half the time. He doesn't know what he's even saying. So, to have to debate him. And keep in mind, Rogan said this like back in February or early March before quarantine was even on, before COVID or quarantine was even on the table. Now with them having to do like probably remote, debates or debates via satellite, I just don't know, what's going to happen other than that, Trump is still going to probably trash Biden. But, I mean, at this point, is Biden even capable of debating? That's the question I have.
Here's another thing. Sorry about that.
Well, just to throw my 2 cents on this, like the devil's advocate in me tries to, think about like where Biden could potentially, like how that could possibly go well for him. And admittedly, I come up with very little. But the one thing that I think about, and I literally laugh out loud at the idea, because like Trump's tactic that he took with Hillary wouldn't work. I don't think would work again. Like the just the straight bullet, which I mean, I guess it would to a certain degree, but now he's got 4 years of actual politics being the president. So the language and the tactics I imagine like the meme, the laser eye meme, Trump, like, you know what I mean? Like a new form on stage or in video, in any form of debate with not just fucking Biden, but virtually anybody. I mean, I can't say he would debate anybody, but I think he's going to be better at it than he was before. And he was obviously fucking amazing at it,
well,
just kind of owning the crowd and stuff. But
well, the other thing though that's different too, and this is kind of because Michael Mellis, who is another podcast who I listen to, he actually brought a good point that Trump is going to have to approach Biden a bit differently because, let's face it, with Hillary Clinton, right? Everyone fucking hates Hillary Clinton just because she is so dislikable, right? Like, she's fucking evil. Everyone hates her. Like, even the Democrats don't like her at all. I mean, Biden is, I wouldn't say Biden is likable, but with Joe Biden, it's more of like he's just, I don't hate Joe Biden. Like, at the end of the day, I kind of feel bad for him because like he's an old guy and like he's also lost his son. I do generally feel bad for him in that sense, but there's not the malice with Joe Biden that there is for Hillary Clinton, right? So Trump can't attack Biden in the same way that he did Hillary. Otherwise, he's going to come off as an asshole, which, the media is going to try and paint him as one anyway. But, like, people, I think, what Trump kind of has on that, just because, again, Hillary was so dislikable that, like, honestly, everyone was kind of like, yeah, she kind of deserves every insult, whereas, like, I don't think that would work with, Biden, necessarily. So, but you're right, Trump has a lot more policy behind him, so...
Another one thing that I saw after the convention that really got to me was when Nancy Pelosi said that there shouldn't be any debates. I was thinking, oh my God, she doesn't even believe in him. She doesn't even believe in Joe Biden. Like if she doesn't, but if your own candidate, if you're telling everybody that you think that your own candidate shouldn't debate, when he's like, yeah, I'll debate him, like there's problems. Like you got
I like
problems.
how she worded it though, with like 20 cameras in the room. She's like, "Shh, don't tell anybody." But I don't think there even should be, especially not Joe Biden. Especially don't tell Joe because he absolutely wants to debate. But I don't think there should be. That's a secret though.
I think Nancy Pelosi is going through a little bit of cognitive decline too. I
Yeah,
do. I kind of feel like it. Like if you see, like, because even if you listen to her even 5 years ago, she had a lot more cognitive, like there was a lot more clarity in some of the stuff that she's saying than right now. And of course, everybody ages. Father
I
Time
was
gets the
gonna
best
say,
of
hell,
everybody. But
rewind me back 5 years, and I was a little more coherent too. But sorry, go
right.
ahead.
Yeah.
But I'm saying when you're talking about uh people that are in these jobs that basically alter the state of the world, you know, there's definitely room for alarm. I mean, even like
Yeah,
if I go through cognitive decline, it's not going to be that bad. Like, look, I mean, you know, I do this podcasting thing and I have my job or whatever. It's not that damn important. But like if the leader of the the potential leader of the free world and the potential third person in line are these people going through cognitive decline, that's a problem. That's a problematic thing.
yeah. I mean, it's almost like if you were like a huge crane operator, and you started to show cognitive decline, your bosses would be like, "Hey, go take a test, man." And they wouldn't. You couldn't just continue doing your job. You would kill people. You
Well,
know, and that's just running a crane,
well, and
not the
let-
whole fucking country.
well, and let's also just point out the fact that no matter what side of the aisle you're on politically, whether you're like a Republican, president or a Democrat president, like I'm sure you guys have seen the photos of like, George W. Bush on his first day in office, and he has, jet black hair, and then they show a picture on his last day of office, and he has like silver to white hair, and then same thing with Obama, too. Like Obama went in with like, deep black hair, and then on his last day, yeah, you could kind of see that he like was getting some gray and white. So it just goes to show that the job is like stressful, and I mean when you're and it's stressful on people who are cognitively well, and when you get into your like 70s and you're still doing the job like Nancy is and like Biden is. I mean, yeah, I bet you that job, like begins to wear on kind of your cognitive powers. I mean, I'm not making excuses for their policy. I'm just saying that, politics is not the best job for your mental health. I mean, hell, I'm just a podcaster and sometimes I get stressed out, researching the news just for this show, Like just waking up every day and seeing, oh, this city is, burning today, and oh, this thing with Antifa. It's not, it's not. That's the one part of the job that kind of sucks, and I'm not complaining. But like it's just, especially this year, it like I said, it's a weird, shitty year that we are, having in 2020. So.
Yeah. It is. It. All of that. Everything you said is part why what Trump has done in the last 4 years is freaking impressive. Because you look at him, it doesn't look like he's like declined at all. Like it's like the look is there, the hair is there, the speech, like his ability to speak and do crowd work and all that stuff. It's all there. It's like nothing has changed literally at all.
I was actually gonna make that point, but I didn't want to interrupt Shannon because you made the Bush Jr. And Obama points, and I mean, admittedly, that those were after 8 years, but so far after 4, I still think that the evolution, like the DBZ, saying evolution type thing is going on here, where he's just getting stronger at 70 whatever years old.
Yeah,
it's all he's been. Who knew that liberal tears would actually revive someone's youth? Like it just revives you.
it's funny because a Storm Wrenches in the chat says, this is probably one of a Storm Wrench's greatest line in the chat. I want a president who wakes up rested having fucked a model the night before. Well, I mean, yeah, that's certainly Trump. So
yeah, Melania, and let's see, Melania is still gorgeous, gorgeous. I just amazing. It's just like did any of you see her speech? Like see her speech at the RNC? It was majestic. She came out in this beautiful setup and just walked out. It just looked majestic, like she was floating on another world, like, and just came down to grace us with her presence. And then she said all the right things, and despite Bette Midler saying she can't speak English, which of course she can, and 4 other languages, it was so graceful. And I don't know. It's just like I swear to God, the Trumps live in another dimension or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Ivanka.
Oh man, God. Yeah.
Wow. She killed it. I mean, she pulls everybody in and just handles the room, right? And just like so well spoken, like
she's definitely her father's daughter in that regard.
I think she's definitely, she's more I guess she's more PR, I guess, because I mean, Donald Trump, what you see is what you get. If he sees something and he doesn't like, he's saying it exactly how he feels, like exactly. Like she's a little bit more I don't want to say politically savvy, but communication savvy, I think, like in her delivery. But like, I mean, it's just like these are the people that Trump surrounds himself with, right? Like this is like he lives in another, like he just came from another dimension and then just showed everybody how to live. Like basically, this is how you do it. How can you not vote for that guy? How? I just don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, the one thing that people criticize Ivanka for a lot is that, what are she and Jared doing making policy? And okay, I can understand that. I understand that not a lot of people like, Jared Kushner and, some of that stuff. That's fine. But as far as campaigning goes, that's really where Ivanka's strong suit is too. Also, when it comes to Ivanka, I always have to deal with a couple assholes on Twitter who are always saying stuff like, well, Trump obviously molested his daughter because he said that his daughter was hot on Howard Stern, 20 years ago, which, first off, anything said by anyone on Howard Stern should always be taken with a grain of salt because it's Howard Stern. You know, and second off, that didn't happen. And why are people still bringing that up after all this time? It's because they have nothing on.
They have nothing.
Trump.
There's nothing to get. They're reaching for anything that they could possibly get. And it's not just him too. It's like everybody. Like they have to go through such lengths to take things out of context. They take little clips of pieces of interviews and say, "Oh, look, he's a piece of shit. Look at this clip that we uncovered 8 years ago off of some interview that had nothing to do with anything that's going on right now." Like they have nothing to go on. They just don't. That part does frustrate me a lot because it happens so freaking much. It happens every day and in such high volumes. But I mean, this is what happens when you win, you know?
Yeah, and then it also frustrates me because they'll be like, Trump abused and sexually assaulted all these, poor, women, and they'll do that stuff. But when they find out that he had like a consensual affair with, Karen McDougal or, someone like that, they'll say stuff like, "Oh, well, she's just a skank, who was paid for by Trump," and some stuff like that. And these are the supposed feminists out there, so it's all very weird. The left is just crazy, and there are crazy people on the far right too. But I mean, mostly it's from people with insane Trump derangement syndrome. So,
I mean, it's like I always feel like, well, you know what? Maybe we should have Obamacare because at least these crazy people can get the psych meds that they truly need. Because but then I have to go back. I'm like, well, shoot, I'm pretty sure Pfizer does not have the manufacturing power to deal with all of these crazy people in the country.
yeah.
You can't pump out enough psych meds to deal with what 60 million people that are out crazy as all hell.
Well, and see, this is a whole nother thing. If we want to, kind of switch, topics dealing with crazy people, and the whole riots and whatnot. It's interesting, Phil, because you bring up the fact that Pfizer can't, cover all of these crazy people, but the fact is, a lot of these crazy people who are rioting are already on, SSRIs, and they're already on medication and, whatnot. And if you're listening to this and, you're on medication, yourself, I'm not knocking you for it. If it helps you, good for you. But what I am saying is that, like, a lot of these people who are, who are kind of crazy, who are going nuts right now, are already on medications more often than not. So, so they got on meds and then they watch the news and the media, which isn't doing anything to help people's mental health now, I don't think. And now they're going out and burning shit, and they're getting paid for it mostly. So, yeah. So, what do you guys make of the stuff going on in Kenosha or whatnot? I've only sort of been following that.
I've been following that quite closely because it's kind of close to me actually. But I actually retweeted because the same type of people that you were talking about earlier that pull up interviews Trump has done from 20 years ago and take it out of context because they have nothing. Found video of Kyle Rittenhouse, I guess it was like in July or something. And the video appears to be like some sort of fight in like a high school parking lot or whatever, like as tends to happen at schools. And this girl starts punching some other girl, and Kyle starts, attacking the girl that, jumped the first girl, or, the one that initiated the violence. And like, I was reading through the comments and it fucking grossed me out, man, because it has nothing to do with what happened in Kenosha. I mean, it paints a character. They're trying to paint a character thing because the act itself, the footage, there is so much footage from so many angles. But his motivation for being there and stuff may be in question, but I don't think there's any legal argument whatsoever as to what actually. Well, I shouldn't say that because I have not seen any footage as leading, prior to about 5 seconds before the Molotov cocktail got thrown at him and he fucking was pinned between the cars and he shot the first dude. I saw a really good breakdown. I'll pin it to you, Sammy, or I'll send it to you in the Discord. There's no commentary. It's just all the footage put together back to back with Kyle called the cops after he shot the first kid, or the first guy.
Yeah.
Allegedly, he pulls his phone out and he's standing there when the mob, runs up and is fucking attacking him and shit. He's like, "Oh, I should get the fuck out of here." But one of the weirdest things about the whole ordeal is that there's footage of the kid walking to the police and several police vehicles driving by him as he's got his hands up and everyone's yelling. He just fucking, like 50 people yelling. He just shot those people and nobody arrested him. He never got arrested. He just went home, which is across state lines, which is 19 miles from Kenosha. But that's another thing that people are making a huge deal about is he crossed state lines to go there. But 19 miles is less distance than it takes me to get to the closest Walmart. Admittedly, it's within the state that I'm in, but that's not far. And especially in this area, this neck of the woods, it would not surprise me if he lives in some podunk little town in Illinois and Kenosha is the closest hotspot. 19 miles, fuck, that's not far. So it's probably like kind of his home away from home. That's just me speculating. But
I think he could get charged with like possession of a weapon underage. I see.
Surprise, motherfuckers!
Oh, there we go.
Oh, what's up?
How you doing, bitches?
Yeah, we're pretty good. We're just talking about Kenosha over here.
Sean Semanko,
That's what I thought
ladies
you
and
could be talking
gentlemen.
about. Yes, that was me.
So,
and what the fuck? You guys are talking about Kenosha with COVID-19 happening, Black Panther dying, and Black Lives Matter rioting, and the RNC wrapping up, and Biden tanking the polls. You're talking about Kenosha.
We did talk about the RNC and DNC.
We
talk about that. Seriously, we started. That's how we started it.
We can
for like 5 seconds, and then you guys were like, "Nah, let's just go."
we can
Sean coming in shitposting. I like it.
we can fucking circle around to all this shit again. We have 4 hours before we all need to go to bed. So
4. You mean 8?
Yeah, I don't know. I ain't got no 4 hours, but
so
I just have to mess with you, Sam, whenever I come on your show.
No, and I appreciate.
It's like a required like when you cross the border and you need to show ID. Like, this is your ID.
Well, fortunately, East Scorpio isn't here. He's staying within his own border, so yeah. So that's not entirely a racist joke, but so
wouldn't be the
yes,
first
it was, Sammy.
time.
Just lean into it, bro. It's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, so going back before Kenosha, the Jacob Blake shooting, right? Which basically prompted the whole Kenosha thing. They like re-triggered the whole deal, right? Like this is what we tell people all the time. Whenever something like this happens and it's all over the news, we tell people to wait a couple of days, get some information, and then form your opinion before you start going crazy. And lo and behold, what happens? A couple days later, we find out that Jacob Blake, he was arrested. They were trying to arrest him for violating a restraining order stemming from an alleged sexual assault. Right?
Hashtag me too.
Right. Yeah. And then so they were trying to arrest him. He was resisting. They tried to tase him. He fought all that off, and then he ran to the car. Right? Like, what more could the cops have done in that situation? Right? Because there's only what, 2 or 3 of them. Right? What were you expecting? What were you expecting these cops to do? That they were literally there. They were there to protect women from a sexual predator. Okay, like the monotony of all of this is just breathtaking. It's just breathtaking.
I'll take off my shitposting hat for a second because I want to, like, in all seriousness, I think what people should, because Kenosha is a big deal, but what people should ask these Black Lives Matter people is what would justify a cop shooting someone? Because you're saying this doesn't, so what does? Nobody's asked them that question of how much is enough.
To be honest, nothing.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I want to get them to say, because I know that's what they would say.
Well, yeah, and see, that's what I've been trying to get these. I mean, I've interacted with them a lot, but with some of the Black Lives Matter people that are like, that on my campus. Well, let's be honest, I haven't been to campus in a while, but like back when I was allowed to go on campus, there were a couple Black Lives Matter who were against the cops, and they used to say stuff like, well, we just want police reform. And I would kind of go, really, guys? And they would kind of go, well, we just want the police dissolved completely. And I'm like, okay, well, thanks for at least being honest. But see, they can't say that because they know that if they did, people would turn against them pretty much immediately.
Yeah, I think it's funny because it's like, while white privilege is being screamed at every person with light skin, we're watching black privilege in action, like, you know, like or like the pursuit of black privilege. And I mean, it's kind of already a thing, you know. It's kind of, I don't know any studies off the top of my head, but that like officers will be more like, they shoot less black people than they should technically, you know, like they're more they restrain themselves more with minorities and stuff because of optics. They're afraid to, you know, more cops are afraid to step over the line than they are with, you know, like white people.
You nailed
or whatever.
It. Look, more people have died from these riots than have died in an entire year. Than unarmed black people have been killed by the police for an entire year. Like,
yeah,
put it in perspective.
For sure.
Put it in perspective, right? And like, and we talk about Kyle Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse, I think that's his name. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name. But you know, it doesn't. It makes it look worse when like the one guy is like a sexual predator, the other guy is another convicted felon, and like, you know, it's like, I'm sorry, I was going to feel bad, but you know what? I kind of don't. I mean, I know that look, I mean, every death is tragic, you know.
Except
But
Osama bin Laden's and Hitler's, but yes.
right. But I just like what one of that yeah, like the that first one, the Rosenhaus one, I like he was charged with like sexual assault with a minor or something like that. Like, no, I'm sorry. Like, you know how I feel about them. Like, I feel like that I feel like the death penalty isn't used anywhere close to enough in this country. And those are the people that should be a part of that execution program. So yeah, I don't feel sorry. And this Kyle Rittenhouse kid, he seems like he was a genuinely good kid. He had like a medic pack, and he was looking to like help people at these rallies or whatever, or at these protests, and like some tragic stuff happened. I mean, I think the one guy was being halted as a hero by Sean King, which of course go figure that. But,
He would.
Yeah, he would, but
Well,
yeah, hero
say-
man. Like what? Get out.
Well, and the other thing that is kind of discussing at the whole thing is they're portraying him as a white supremacist and a school shooter, right? On all the lefty pages, that's their go-to. Oh, Kyle Rittenhouse looks like he looks exactly like Eric Harrison, Dylan Klebold or whatever, and they bring up and they make memes of like all these school shooters, and they're like, oh, and the thing that amuses me is one of them was like, oh, their facial structure all looks the same. And I quote tweeted one of these liberals. I'm like, wait, Richard Spencer, is that you? Are you doing identity politics now? So I thought only the far right evil guys did that, but it's just insane.
Let's be real for a second. Look, Sean King is probably the only white guy that these Black Lives Matter people don't think is a white supremacist.
Well, no, because he's completely bought into the narrative, and he's shielded for their agenda. So I mean, he's bought and paid for. He can say whatever he wants to.
Damn it! So. I try to push a joke, right? And I maybe I should just give up comedy,
killer, man.
Maybe I should just give up comedy altogether, man.
Well,
I said Sean King is the only white guy, and this is the guy who pretends like he's black every day.
To be fair, it is kind of confusing anymore.
Yeah, to be fair, Dictator Phil, it's not that you're a bad. Let's face it, you are a way better comedian than Owen Benjamin is. Granted, that's not.
Oh my God, you didn't set the bar very high. That's like, oh, he's just a shade better. He's just a shade better than Amy Schumer, and she has to steal.
Hey Phil, you're a better living thing than a vegetable.
Oh my God! Thank you for the compliment.
Don't you guys know Owen is objectively funnier than Adam Sandler now?
Oh well, he's objectively funnier than all comedians, but he's also a head of fucking cabbage to bring back the vegetable fucking part.
Yo, apparently Portland is getting really bad. By the way, Antifa and MAGA people are clashing.
Wait, Sean, did you say Portland's getting bad? because it's been bad.
Well, it was always really bad, but like you kind of got used to the really
bad
badness. It was like normal. So then, like when it goes to the next step, you're like, oh shit, it's bad now. They went from burning buildings down to now raping people. Yeah, now it's actually pretty bad, guys.
Now there's fucking like literal militias and fucking battle lines being drawn. That's great.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and find a live stream, and then I'm gonna start up our stream on Versa because it's getting crazy there. Antifa class for drivers in the Trump caravan. God, see now, okay, it's getting pretty wild there. Yeah. Follow Andy No on Twitter and Jack Pasovic, everyone, if you want to keep up with this shit and other good shit. Those guys are fantastic.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say something else. I'm already forgetting it. But it was oh yeah, about Kyle. Okay. I'm leaning towards the side that Kyle did nothing wrong, but I need to see more footage of it to be honest and make my final conclusions. I did see, apparently, I posted in a news chat on our Discord, and I'd like to pose this to Black Lives Matter people. Apparently, Kyle was seen in a video beating up a girl. And I'm not sure why or what went down with that. First of all, in terms of beating up chicks as a dude, I like Adam McGinnis's rule, which is that, yeah, you can return fire, but it has to be like 10 punches from a chick and then one from a dude. You know, you can't just be like a girl just like hits you and you're just like blam. It's like that's not cool.
I can tell you what I saw of that video because I watched it and it is definitely him. But it's like a confrontation in a high school parking lot, like happens in every fucking high school parking lot across the country, probably every day that's in session, or at least every week. There's like 5 or 10 people, and he's among them. Looks like he's, him and a chick are yelling at each other, but he's also like it looks like he's keeping some girl behind him. And the crowd, kind of moves a little bit, and the girl he was yelling at kind of gets in the frame, but she clearly like sucker punches this chick and starts wailing on her, and Kyle kind of comes from behind, and just starts fucking hitting this chick, trying to get her off of, I'm assuming like his girlfriend or his friend or something.
I think the girl is trying to keep him back from like doing so. I don't really get it.
I think it definitely doesn't look good.
To be honest. What?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say this kid, honestly, I think he has pretty irresponsible parents probably, and I don't know if he's a good or bad kid. I mean, you can't tell from some videos, but it's not a normal family because I don't know any family in America that's gonna let their 17-year-old kid illegally open carry in a city when there's fucking like race riots happening. I mean, that is That's wild.
That is wild.
Not There's saying there was like justified self-defense or anything like that. In the second person he did kill, that is justified self-defense. I don't know about the first one because I haven't seen that, but I don't know.
The first one, I'll actually post it. It's I can't seem to find the original video, but Ryan Dawson, who I'm not a big fan of, did a video on his brand new YouTube site or whatever, and it's only like 4 minutes long, but it shows every fucking angle of everything that is up to this point. And I'm bringing this up earlier, but there's like extensive footage of seriously, every fucking angle as this shit happens. The dude throws a Molotov cocktail at the kid as he tries to run between 2 vehicles and gets stuck. You can't really see what happens there, but the dude that just threw a Molotov cocktail pins him between these 2 vehicles. Bam, bam, bam. Shots ring out. And then he comes around, checks on the dude, pulls his phone out, calls 911, gets accosted by the mob again, and then runs down the fucking street where he trips and gets fucking hit with a skateboard and shit, But I don't know what happened before that. The thing is I can't find any footage before that. Like Kyle, everything I've seen starts with Kyle running away from this dude. But why is he running? Like, why is this dude chasing him? I mean, I could think of, any number of reasons. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
that's why I don't want to jump on any side on this just yet, because like Phil said the other night, like we've had too many Covingtons. We've had too many cases where it's like, these Black Lives Matter ones are total lies. Every single shooting is a lie, and then you find out later what the truth is.
So people are supposedly sending me video links, and so I'll check those. John Arcade, who's been keeping up on this, said his parents weren't with him. 100% self.
Well, that's the problem. Yeah, that's
Well-
what I'm saying. Is like, if I was a parent, I wouldn't let my kid do this shit. This is like the stupidest thing ever.
Well, but
You stay away. Look, I disagree with Nick Fuentes on a lot of things. There's one thing he was dead right on, is that stay away from these riots. Do not get involved in any capacity. You're looking for trouble, no matter what side you're on, and it's only going to end badly.
but what?
In a lot of cases, these people are looking for you to participate,
But
so they
Absolutely.
can catch a Twitter moment.
But here's the question though: was he purposely going out there to like participate, or was he just running to the store to like grab like a drink or something? Because like,
well, I actually have an idea of what I think. I'm gonna start a stream right now, so I'm gonna do a quick little intro for that if you don't mind on your own show.
No, I don't mind. Usually I'm the one multi-linking with your guys. So yeah, you guys can. I sent Alex a link to the Discord so he can hop in here as well. So
yeah, he's picking up his girlfriend right now. He said so. He'll come back a little later.
Okay.
So I'm gonna hit live right now so that I don't have to do this. And we can keep going because we're having a good conversation. And we're live here, back with real news. There's a cruise for Trump happening in Portland now, and it's getting really crazy. We're following it right now, live streams. It's breaking news right now, but we're talking about the shit show that's happening this week. This has been wild, fucking wild. And we're just talking about King Kyle.
and
As people calling him on the internet, the kid that we're gonna be. We this time it wasn't your fault, Sam. So I'm trying to one up you this time. But people are wondering, this kid Kyle that's 17 years old and shot 2 Black Lives Matter protesters and killed them. Shot 3 and killed 2. I think why he was there is he was trying to be. I think when you're that age, and when you're into the things he's in, you have this sort of idealized version of how these events are going to play out. You kind of think you're going to, I don't want to say be a hero, but like, he probably got really gung-ho, like, oh yeah, I'm going to defend these shops, we're going to stand strong, and nothing's going to go wrong, we're going to protect these places. And it's like, yeah, I'm all for that, but when you're 17 years old, you really don't know what you're getting into. Like, I'm not trying to sound condescending, but kind of you should let the adults handle that,
Yeah.
I mean, he was technically doing what he was illegal open carrying, but I mean, that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to be, do something good, but like, it's a bit more than that. It's like kind of like he has this idealized version of what, it's like when you're a kid and you want to be a soldier, or you want to be, some like, you want to be like Captain America, okay? You know what I mean? Like when you're young, you have that sort of idea in your mind. Like you want to be an action hero, you want to be a spy. But we all know that the spies in movies are not how spies really are. Being a spy sucks.
Wait,
it's like
so you mean to tell me that my James Bond, that like I can't be a real life James Bond, Sean? Is that what?
Well, I don't know, man. That wheelchair can do some damage.
Is that?
And it'd be a good cover too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't.
How many movies have like
Most people
spies
have no idea.
They're like.
Go ahead.
They're at.
I was gonna say, how many like spies in like movies like pretend they're like disabled or something, then all of a sudden they spring into action, they like take you out.
Yeah, you have no idea the damage hiding in that mechanized Roman fucking war machine.
which I'm actually going to get new tires on this week, by the way. So
Sure,
all season tires.
Sure. New tires, air quotes.
Winterizing the vehicle. There you go.
I will
bulletproof.
I will tell this. I've been told. I probably shouldn't say this on air, but I haven't told, like, if Antifa or anyone comes up to me and, like, tries to harass me to run their ass over if they, try and come at me, which, I mean, look, here's the thing, too, is, like, with the whole, with this kid, I'm not sure that they want to have, Black Lives Matter would have harassed him anyway, because they harass everyone. So, I mean, what he did, yeah, it might not have been smart for him to go out there in the first place, but I mean, he defended himself from what.
I have just
Yeah.
one piece of advice, Sammy. Try the smoke bombs and the caltrops before you go running people over. I mean, at least try to ninja your way out before because I know you got caltrops and smoke bombs at the very least.
Oh my god. Trump is traveling to Kenosha on Tuesday. Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
No fucking way.
Yep.
Dude, well, see, here's
Tweet
like the two ways of looking at it. On the one hand, it could either turn Kenosha into an absolute shit show, more than it already is, or two, that means, because we all know when the president goes somewhere, like, they close down blocks. So that means he's going to bring the feds in, and they're going to clean house.
That's probably on purpose.
That's probably why. That's probably why he did it. Like,
That's a loophole. Yeah, that instead of like waiting for them to call National Guard, he's just like, "I'll show up."
Yeah, because they're not none of these Democrats are like basically sandbagging their cities intentionally. Like,
dude,
this might be great. Yeah, that's a great. Like, I'm telling. Like, we always say that. We always seem to say that Trump is like a couple chess moves ahead of pretty much everybody else. Like this,
the 4D chess meme.
Yeah, he's
winning.
He's winning at chess while everybody's losing at checkers. That's how I see it.
Dude, this shit in Portland's pretty like crazy. Like these Trump supporters are doing like a parade in the fucking city with Trump flags and everything, and Antifa's throwing shit at them.
Yeah.
On the one hand, I love this because this shows that we're not going to let these people intimidate us and bully us. But on the other hand, you're in Portland. You got to be careful or else you're going to get the Proud Boys treatment.
Yeah.
Which is what's going to happen to Kyle. Because here's the thing I have the issue with Kyle. That's why he
won't get the...
Look, I
don't think he'll get the... I don't think he'll get the murder charges. I don't think he'll get them. Like any lawyer worth their salt is gonna beat the murder charges calmly. The other stuff is what I'm worried about. Like because he's obviously dead to rights with illegally possessing a firearm under the age of 17.
He probably won't be allowed to own a gun ever again.
Well, not in
that state.
Isn't that what happened with like FPS Kyle or from
yeah, exactly.
I know I'm going back a ways to like an old internet reference, but that was just what popped in my head immediately with
No, they're gonna fuck this kid so hard. Like that's why I'm saying stay away from this shit. This shit is stupid. Is because you're in a liberal fucking like city with liberal courts. They're gonna railroad you, and you're not gonna be allowed to own guns anymore. You're gonna get your life ruined. Like even like. Here's the thing, even if he did nothing wrong, his life is still ruined. It doesn't matter, his life is ruined. And that's what's stupid about doing this.
Well,
like, I don't want to say don't bring guns, but like, don't put yourself in situations where you're going to have to use it.
Well, and Sean, to your point, that's kind of what worries me about this whole thing in Portland too, is because, like, I don't know if I've told you guys this, but I have a friend named Dan Sandini who's a citizen journalist. He's been a guest on the show before, and I've known him since like he first came on the show when I was a senior in high school, so I've known him for quite a long time now. And he was a citizen journalist in Portland, Oregon, back when Occupy Wall Street was a thing. And he actually got arrested for, believe it or not, defending himself from an Occupy Wall Street member who punched him in the face, and then Dan punched him back, and Dan actually had to go to the hospital. and he pressed charges, and they arrested the guy who punched him. But then, because the courts are so crooked in Portland, the guy who assaulted Dan was let go, and basically for political reasons. So what I'm saying is, I don't know, and I mean, I hate to say this, but I don't know why anyone on the right really keeps fighting in Portland, because it's a lost cause. Everything is rigged against us. So, I mean, I hate to be this guy, but what's the point even?
I think the point really is to, well, I think for some people, I hate having to give such nuanced answers, and I think for some people, they're looking for a fight, they're looking for something to do right now, and so they're looking for a fight. And I think the other part of it is, I think people are sick and tired of Democrats controlling these cities, and they're sick of Antifa intimidating people, and they're sick of Black Lives Matter intimidating people, and they want to show the Trump supporters and that they want to fight back. Basically, I think that's what it is.
Basically, just wait until after the election.
Yeah,
get Trump back in office for 4 more years, and then we'll go to town. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes point. Yeah, and I mean, Johnny, I get what you're saying, but this all I'm saying is this shit has been going on for 15. I mean, for close to a decade in Portland, if not more. I mean, it feels demoralizing. Now, if Trump wins his second term, which is what it looks like, if I were Trump, I would send the National fucking Guard into Portland, and
but you need the governor's approval, and these governors are not allowing it.
Yeah,
they're just not allowing it.
That's why
I know.
That's why the Kenosha trip is so fucking genius, dude.
Yeah.
I wonder. Legit, that feels like what it has to be. Because why else would he do that? If his real goal is protecting Americans, which I think most Americans that support him believe that to be the truth, he's gonna do whatever he can, including sticking himself in these areas. I mean, the timing works out. I don't know. It makes sense. Let's go to these Democrat ravaged cities while the mob are fucking destroying it, and go and say, look, this is, just do what he does.
And if anybody aims anything at the president, they have full authority to use lethal force. That is guaranteed.
But that's a problem.
That's it. Huh?
See, well, that's the problem.
That's not the problem, because
it is.
If you do that,
the problem.
What?
No, listen. This is why Trump hasn't done anything, is because once he gets involved, he owns it. That is the biggest problem he has been having with this sort of situation here. Because if something happens, if a National Guard member shoots an Antifa, shoots a Black Lives Matter protester, oh my God, will they rain down on Trump for that? Like you wouldn't believe.
Yep.
And that is why it is not okay to do that, and why he can't do that. And that's why these people, like Cernovich, have been saying what I've been thinking too, which is let it happen, let it burn, don't get involved unless you absolutely have to, because once you do, it's yours. It's off the Democrats' hands, and they're going to say, oh, we didn't do that. That once Trump came in with his people, that's when somebody died. That's exactly what they'll say. And the blood will be on Trump's hands, even if it's justified, even if it's the right thing to do, it doesn't matter. That will be the perception.
Yeah, I would say, I agree. I'd say wait until after the election, and then start dropping shit. Because at that point, once the election's over, that's really it. What are you gonna do? You're gonna get on Trump's shit, but it wouldn't matter at that point.
Well,
he's already won the re-election. He's not going to be able to get 4 more years, so he'd just be like, well, fuck it.
The only thing you do have to kind of slightly consider is the midterms again. I mean, he has to, like, those first 2 years, he can be a little looser, but he's got still play things a little right. But after those 2 years, if we keep the House, his final 2 years could be just the best.
I mean, I definitely agree with you guys. Like, once, especially anything that Trump has touched or has been associated with has been so demonized, it's absurd. But you know, the one thing that Trump has always been good at is winning hearts and minds face to face. So it really would. I think it wouldn't matter what the media says about him if he changes people's
I
minds
mean, yeah.
in these cities.
That's
You know what I
a
mean?
good point too, Apex. The like, I'm not sure that the press really matters at this point, because whatever he does, he could send he could send Jesus himself to rescue everybody, and he would still get flack from CNN. Like, it'd be
He's
like,
like,
well,
I like that meme.
why did he summon Jesus sooner? He doesn't care about Americans. Like, what?
That fucking meme where like Trump cures cancer and like the next day everyone's crying because Trump put doctors out of work, you know, or something like that. Like,
Have you seen the meme where Jesus comes down to save everyone and everyone's like Jesus they start basically like gaslighting Jesus, like Jesus is a racist, Jesus is, you know, is an Islamophobe, Jesus is
he's only coming down when white people are in danger. What the hell?
Yeah, yeah, something. I mean, it's like I think it's like from Babylon B or one of those satire sites, but it just proves the point. So these people will never be happy. So
I just retweeted a video of like showing like the whole line of Trump mobiles like riding in this parade. It's like is long. There must be like they organized the shit out of this. There must be like 100 Trump cars.
I do.
Badass.
I feel like though, it's coming. Like I feel like this. We're gonna see more of this. I do. I feel like before this election,
we have 2 months left.
Yeah, we're gonna see a lot more of this, because you're not. I mean, you're not gonna like a lot of these like these Republicans and are like, and even the Democrats and the small business owners and stuff like that, like they're not gonna stand and let their shit be burned to the ground, like. And they're not going to be like that and telling them, oh, well, this is why you need to vote November 3rd. That's not going to be enough for these people whose lives are already going up in flames. Like, shit's going to boil. Shit's going to reach a fever pitch.
So
and some bad shit's going to happen. Like,
so I have a question for you guys, and I'm starting a new clip for this, by the way. But I have a question. So, new topic / question. Are we going to have a civil war, or are we already in one? That's the question. Because at this point, I think a civil war is kind of. I think it's like I don't think there's a way we.
You want to say inevitable, but you don't at the same time.
Exactly. And also keep in mind, when I say civil war, I don't just mean that like people are going to be bringing guns and stuff. I think a civil war in terms of like, yeah, it's going to get physical, but also propaganda wars, disinfo, all that stuff.
Yeah,
so
we've already had those things.
Yeah,
and that's why when people always say civil war, I'm like, well, what do you mean by a civil war? Are we talking about like the fucking like states like splitting? Are we talking about just like right wingers and left wingers having like firefights in the streets? Like, what are we talking about here in terms of like civil war?
Yeah, I feel like all that's going to happen.
Yeah, well,
like all that's going to happen.
Well, and that's kind of my point. Johnny Arcade in the chat says you're already in one, and that's already happening. Yeah, I mean, so kind of in the way that I see things, we are kind of already in one. but to what extent it's going to get to, I'm not sure. Look, the country has split apart before. It's 2020. We're in a bunch of... I wouldn't be surprised if states start succeeding. I don't want them to, but at this point, anything could happen. So,
Man, I totally misjudged there, dude. I thought you were like prophesizing like a Marvel universe, an MCU type Civil War, like within this Discord, like or something, like prophesizing that. I don't know.
Team Sam
lost
versus,
that.
or Team
It was funnier in my
Whitfield
head,
versus
sorry.
Team Versa.
no.
Or the powers that be, whoever they are going to start getting uber aggressive. Like they're going to start saying and we need to. By the way, I feel like Trump needs to get more aggressive. Like after this election, he needs to get more aggressive.
But how can he?
Like going at look like these.
Normalize the death penalty.
I mean,
For starters,
I would just, I'd go after. I would first, I would label BLM as a terrorist organization like Antifa, and then I would start cracking hard on these terrorist organizations.
Trump
Subject them.
Trump needs to...
If Dictator Phil was in charge, they're going to Guantanamo. Like all of them are stripped of their United States citizenship, and they're going to Guantanamo. I'm filling that. I'm filling that prison up.
So now you're resurrecting Dictator Phil. I see how that goes.
It's wartime, bitches.
Like, I'm saying if
it's wartime.
If Dictator Phil was in charge.
Well, Trump needs to go after one particular individual that I can't name here. Otherwise, I'll probably get I'm not monetized, but I'll probably get even more Shadow Man. Screw it. He needs to go after George Soros, who I'm pretty sure, speaking of James Bond, is actually like a real life James Bond villain.
Oh, he's the closest thing to a Bond.
And
hi, Alex.
What's going on, Alex?
And his son is even scarier.
Alex, have you seen the shit that's going on in Portland right now?
No, man.
Dude, Trump supporters had this fucking mile-long cruise or parade of Trump trucks go into the city with Trump flags, American flags, Proud Boys. And now Antifa's throwing shit at them, attacking them.
Oh man, that's great.
Yeah, dude, it's here's the thing too, is this if they play this well, it could just be Trump cars driving through a city and they just get attacked. They would look like the victims, kind of. I mean, yeah, they're obviously provoking a bit with a Trump flag, but if you're doing nothing wrong, if you're doing everything legal and you're not starting shit, these people are going to look real bad. Trump supporters are going to look, hopefully, oppressed and bullied.
The left, they like to go and say, just because she's wearing provocative clothing doesn't mean she's not, she's asking for it. Well, same logic over here, buddies.
Yeah. We were talking about the Civil War, too. And I'll answer this question, then you can too, Alex, because Sam asked, are we going into a civil war or are we already in one? And I'm going to try to define civil war first, which is a battle between two sides that are armed and organized, and they're trying to take territory, and they're trying to wipe each other out. That's what a civil war in my mind is. I don't think we're having that right now. I think we're having street brawls, but I'll be honest. Before all this shit, I thought, no way, civil war ain't gonna happen. It simply wasn't. And given the things that were happening, it wasn't there. Well, after seeing what I'm seeing now, I don't know. I'm not going to take a side because I really do not know if one's coming. I don't think we're in one right now at all because you gotta keep in mind we're in an election season. Emotions are high. Things are gonna be crazier than normal. We're also in the middle of a pandemic, so it may look like it's one. It may look like it, but that's kind of how things looked in 2016. People thought the country was tearing itself apart and we were all gonna die, and we didn't. I think once Trump gets inaugurated, things will calm down,
I
but I don't know for how long.
see. I think that we're probably closer to a state of anarchy than a state of civil war, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I actually
Yeah, I
agree
agree.
with that. Yes.
Yeah, that does. I mean,
I
I
feel
could
like government bodies would have to like openly be calling for death of the other party. You know what I mean? Like that for like factions to be formed in that fashion. I mean, there's factions being formed, and they're definitely being, not so subtly supported by certain politicians and stuff. But I think just generally speaking, they're not. I think the language and the action, therein would be a lot different. And in my mind, what I would consider an actual civil war, I think we're for sure in a what could be called a state of civil war, but it's it's a cold civil war, so to speak. Even though there's lots of bullets being fired.
And I think too with the anarchy thing, I think that's a good thing to bring up because what is the goal of all these things? Defund the police, abolish police, Antifa, everything they're doing, the end goal really, even if these people don't realize it, is anarchy. Because then they can do what they want. They don't have the oppressor above them controlling them. They don't have the white man above them controlling them, or the men. That's really what this is all about, like tearing down the patriarchy, tearing down this and that.
Well,
It's all about eliminating the control over them and the people that are keeping them from power because they want power. And so the way they achieve power is through anarchy.
Well, I think what's happening is we have a lot of people who are useful idiots right now, and they're supporting these causes even though they have no concept of an end game in sight.
Yes.
well,
And I think. Go ahead.
Well, the other thing too is, and I mean, Apex and I specifically have talked about this a lot, but I'm going to make a few references here. So I finished my second rewatch of The Americans last night, which, in case you guys don't know, for those listening, is basically a show about Soviet spies posing as American citizens during the 1980s Cold War period. And I think there is some of that definitely going on with China here in the US right now, as Apex and I have discussed before. And I mean, it seems blatant that there are people now who have actively said we're Marxists and we want a revolution in this country. So, yeah, the geography has changed a bit, but I definitely think that there are foreign infiltrators trying to operate here, just not the ones that the left would like you to think. Russia is no longer the bad guy. But there certainly are communist operatives here, that's for sure. So
I would be willing to bet you the closing of the Houston consulate has there's probably like evidence of exactly that from what I understand, like from a lot of the language, not heard exactly, but look at all the documents they're burning and shredding and shit. I mean, Trump's war on China, I think that's where again, it's so important, man, and people that know about it know it's important, but so many people don't, like, they have no idea. But not only don't have any idea, but like it's hard to even, well, it's not really that hard. Anybody that's interested, all you got to do is direct them to a few places, and the evidence is overwhelming for their abuse of the Uyghurs and stuff, and various other oppressions, which we're all aware on this panel.
Well, that's what the one silver lining of the pandemic is it finally look the Trump base. They knew from the get go, but like before 2016, that China was the real enemy. They knew it, and they were feeling it as their jobs were being taken away by China. But it took the pandemic for people to really personally feel that China is a threat to your daily life.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah,
are
man.
the enemy. This isn't from Russia. This is from China. And that, I think, has woken a lot of people up. And you would
For
hope
sure.
it would bring a sense of unified national pride for this country against another, but it didn't.
No, I
Instead, you have this shit.
Well, I
People-
still think. Go ahead.
People will blind themselves to spite Trump. They will gouge out their eyes to go and say "fuck you" to Trump. They'll backpedal like on anything if Trump supports it. You know, if Trump went out today and said, I support wearing masks, you'd probably go with like I believe we should have a mask mandate. Then you'll see, the left saying, oh well, that's actually racist because black people can't afford masks or some. They'll find a reason to bitch and moan about it, basically.
yeah.
Speaking of, this is something that Phil and I would, or Phil and Alex would understand. But I'm gonna post this in our host chat, guys. This will give you guys a good laugh. This was posted today. We have a character.
Oh
that,
God.
Oh, now it's official.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
well, welcome to the party.
I'm gonna call him out on that because he said, after some second thoughts, dude, weren't you running for the CR presidency and saying you were supporting and voting for Trump? What were the second thoughts happening?
People are full of shit.
Do you want to talk about like fucking people who look like spies, like this guy right here? Fucking
He looks
He
like
has
a
the
fucking,
mustache now.
no, he looks like a fucking pedophile. He looks like he diddles children.
He's got the pedo sack.
We're making super inside jokes here now, folks.
Yeah, I'll
so.
post in the chat's chat. I'll let you guys in.
yeah,
on that.
let's be careful with that because
Let's keep
no
let's
one
keep
knows what the fuck this is.
let's keep it
You keep it that way.
within the subjects, public subjects only.
Yes.
I'm posting it everywhere. I'm just kidding.
I'll let you guys take a peek at it, and then I'm gonna delete it there.
Well, I mean,
Dude, Andy, no. He posted something on Twitter. They're moving their trucks right in. These MAGA trucks are moving their trucks right through these protests. It's freaking awesome.
Wait, Sean, did
Spraying
you
water.
something similar to that once? With the
Spraying,
truck?
hosing water down on the protesters. It's great.
What were you saying about the trucks, Alex?
Didn't you see something similar once with trucks?
What do you mean per se?
Like,
Was that
like
during
a
my?
Trump guy like bringing a truck to a protest.
Oh
rally?
yes, I know what you're thinking of now. That was when when we were protesting Biden, when he was in that elementary school and Black Lives Matter showed up, and this fucking like guy pulls up with a Trump bus, like all decked out Trump shit, and like parks right in front of the protesters. It's so funny. Like, look at how many Antifa are here, though. Like, if you look on the stream right now, like, there's a shit ton.
Apex, I do have pants on, sir. I don't know what you're talking about, but I am wearing pants. So
Apex. I did not accuse. Listen. I may have thought that, but I didn't say that.
no, evil Eric is saying that Sam has no pants on.
Oh, you said Apex. I am wearing pants.
Oh well. Dan, I meant to say evil Eric, though.
With scantily clad Saturdays.
Well, or shirtless Saturdays. I've done that before. So, but no one has PayPal'd me in a while. So.
You get up that OnlyFans.
I was gonna make that joke. Sam, you should make an OnlyFans if you haven't already. You need some extra income, right?
You know what? I've thought about doing that just for a joke to see how it would go. But
Jacob Wold did it as a joke, like half a joke. It's kind of funny.
Did he actually make any money off of it, or?
Probably.
Someone probably did it as a meme.
Apparently, Bella Thorne made millions. I mean, you know.
Well, what I'm going to say something super politically incorrect here, which probably will get me banned off of YouTube, but it is easier for women to make money off of the internet that way than it is for men.
Like fucking Pokimane.
How's that even controversial? Like,
I was gonna say that. I was say that is the edgiest take I've ever heard, Sam.
like that is statistically proven. Like, no one's. Yeah, that's the one industry where like women, you know, you don't hear them complain about like unequal pay. So, like the what's the word? Sex worker industry. You know, whatever the politically correct term for hoes is.
Yeah, I can see. Like, what about the Chippendales dancers, huh?
Yeah,
But they have a legitimate gripe, okay? Equal pay, right? Equal pay for equal work.
You know what the stupidest thing is, though, is these same chicks who complain about who are like pro sex work are the same chicks who, I shit you not, will write entire columns about how over sexualized NFL cheerleaders are. And I'm gonna be honest, the cheerleaders are the only reason to watch the NFL now. For me, at least. Just being honest.
Maybe they'd be happier if they set up their own OnlyFans account for the cheerleaders.
Antifa is asking for the police to arrest Trump supporters.
You know, why? Like, the police should go and tell them to go and give them their identity first.
But I thought they didn't want the police around. What the hell?
I think, I'm with Antifa. Abolish the police, guys. Come on, you don't need them, right?
Is somebody listening to death metal, or is that on the stream you're watching?
I don't hear any death metal.
On who's that?
Maybe it's just like static, and I'm hearing.
Yeah, I'm hearing. Yeah, I'm hearing static on someone's end too.
Does it go away now?
Yep.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't hear
it's mine because I turned the gain down.
I don't hear the faint sounds of death metal anymore.
Tear gas deployed. Tear gas.
You're playing Call. Oh, that's real life.
Which video are you?
Call of Duty 2020.
Which video stream are you guys watching? I'll pull it up so that people on.
Yeah, I'll share it. Like, this is like it's getting actually like in DC and Portland, it's getting really intense right now because Trump supporters had a peaceful protest with their trucks and they couldn't handle that.
Jeez, dude, this looks like fucking like so much gas everywhere. You'd think this would be like fucking Wuhan, like the couple days after the coronavirus pandemic came out.
And
Call of Duty.
Johnny, Sam watches for the boy cheerleaders. Johnny, there are no such things.
Whoa, I think Antifa's throwing these gas canisters. I don't know if it's tear gas or if it's smoke bombs, but I think. Oh, and the cop just kicked one. Oh shit, he's got his gunpoint. Oh shit. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, did he shoot someone? Oh.
No, he didn't. But
how is that for story of the fucking year after the shit fucking 2020?
You know that, you're right, Sean. Like, that is really funny because the number one people who call the police and shit like this is the left, and they're the same ones who want to abolish them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cops are moving in now. Cops are moving in. This isn't DC, by the way. I just realized.
Good.
Yo.
Oh, yeah.
They should just come in there and beat the shit out of all these fucking Antifa pricks.
This one bitch is yelling at them.
Oh, God. One person standing
there. So
BOM mystery van.
So Johnny Arcade just informed me that they now have.
The cops blowing out.
Oof.
So,
dun, 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 dun.
Yes.
So Johnny Arcade just informed me that they now have male cheerleaders in the NFL now, and
Oh yeah.
all I can say
Yeah,
is
that's just what we need—a gay male cheerleader swinging his ball sandwich at the crowd.
What's going on
uh,
over here with the
tonight.
bum truck? What's up?
That's the mystery van.
Oof. God, that looks so like I bet there's like homeless people having sex in there. Like that's at least
Yo.
happened once in that van.
Ugh.
Man.
Why is someone carrying a fucking basketball? Are they like, oh, we're just
How
gonna
is
play some
that for
b-ball
story
and
of
we're done protesting,
Yeah, after we throw some smoke grenades, we're gonna go.
Yeah.
Is that one of those like rental fucking scooters over there? I bet there's
What's
like
a
homeless
scooter?
people having ride or whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah, they have a lot of those in DC.
I heard there was problems with those things. Like people just like throw them places, and they didn't tell the cities about these, so they just like woke up one day and there's a bunch of like random shit on their street, and they're like, okay, what is this?
That wouldn't surprise me.
Well, I gotta get out of here, guys. A pleasure talking to y'all. As always. I'm gonna probably be watching the stream for a little bit. So
you're going to bed.
anyway, y'all have.
You're going to bed early, Gamma. What for? Do you have to work tomorrow?
Yeah, I have some things to do here before I go to bed.
Okay.
Maybe to go and watch some pornography. It's his right.
Crap boys porn. Police
Well.
porn.
All right.
Well,
Catch you later,
am.
man.
Yeah, later, guys. Have a good time.
Later.
I'm about to say, speaking of porn, you saw that like one like Antifa protester like girl over there, and when like right before they started marching, like, I forget the name of that meme, but there was like the one like white girl and like 8 black dudes like around her.
Molly locks.
Yeah, whatever that one was.
Moldy locks.
It wasn't. Didn't I think she went on to like one of JF's streams or something too? Like after that, like there was some really weird shit with her.
JF Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
JF is didn't JF like beat his like wife
Autistic
or something?
wife. What?
Yeah. Anything with JF Garapi is gonna be weird.
Yeah, that guy's really weird.
Not as weird as some people who are. Not as weird as a certain individual
Shall not be named.
who is
Yeah.
What the fuck?
who now claims he has enough cash to buy his little gay compound or whatever.
God.
So,
oh boy.
You're playing people, no?
I guarantee you. In fact, I'm gonna clip this actually, but mark my.
I was gonna say, looking at all this violent shit, like just shoot them. It's not like the dead Democrats can vote. Oh wait, well, I take that back. I'm pretty sure Chadwick Boseman's gonna be voting for Biden here in November. So, oh wait, too soon? Is that too soon?
Too soon, Phil. Get out.
But,
Can't make those jokes here. Naughty.
Funny.
yeah, we can make. It's funny. Come on.
No, okay. One thing I'm gonna say about that. Yeah, isn't it really? It's getting tense with cops. Isn't it really just freaky, for lack of a better term, that while we're living in a time of Black Lives Matter in the streets and all this Black Lives Matter crap, Black Panther dies. Like, what the fuck is this signal that God's sending us?
See, I never watched that fucking movie. Like, that just seems like a fucking race bait movie if I've ever like heard of one. Just like naming yourself, that'd be like if they named a movie like the fucking alt-right or the alt-right rises or something, the alt-night rises, and they make him a superhero. Like, that's basically the same thing. It's like the Black Panthers, they're a fucking hate group. They did a lot of bad shit. Like, sure, times were different back then, but they still did some terrorist actions.
Well, the thing.
They're trying to like prevent people from voting.
The thing of it is that comic book is like 45 years old or something. Like, it's It's been out for a while, but like no one besides nerds like me really knew what Black Panther was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I admitted to being a nerd, so I also made a reference to Karen McDougal earlier, and I'm pretty sure that no one except for maybe like two other people in my chat know who I'm even talking about.
That sounds really familiar. Karen McDougal. What the fuck is that? I've heard that. No, I legit heard that name.
Well, Sean, you can
Another fucking.
you can do a Google search. I would just advise you to turn on.
I think I already did that.
Basically, she's a Playboy Planet who allegedly Trump paid for, and it's funny because Reddit is now like completely attacking her.
Dude, half of those pieces of shit would pay $200 for a fucking hooker. At least Trump, even if they were right about Trump, at least Trump got the real shit, right? He had like even if everything that they said was true, which it probably isn't. Well, let's just say if it was true, he got some Playboy Playmates. He got Stormy Daniels in her prime. There's some yeah. Huh?
Wasn't cheap. He paid good money.
Yeah, he paid good money.
Shit.
And he's got the money to do it. Like, yeah, like so yeah, some of these losers they pay $200 for some ratchety ass. So like, yeah, don't be mad. Don't hate. Don't be jealous.
She is a gorgeous woman too. That's the one thing that Trump and I have in common is we've actually both met playmates. I never
more than me.
Well, that's because you live in Florida.
Yeah, I am lucky that way. It was
the women in Florida are giving it up for free though. So I mean, oh wait, did I say that? I meant to say something else.
Yo, police arrested Antifa. Police arrest Antifa. Like they just grab this one fucker. I'm gonna play the video on the stream.
Lock him up. The fuck up.
Lock him up.
Let me see if I can get. Let me see if I can.
Oh, he's a big boy too.
You guys talk about that Kyle guy yet? You know, the Antifa Slayer.
Yeah, we
BLM Slayer.
We spent the first half of the Whitfield report on.
What do you think about that whole situation, Alex?
Oh, I think he did nothing wrong. Well, the only thing he did wrong was crossing state lines with being underage with a gun. But like other than that, he still has his right to self-defense. And those people who attacked him, like honestly, if he was black, like I feel like they could go and say this was a hate crime because he called the guy the N-word at the beginning. You've seen the video. Like honestly, he took out the trash. All those people who were attacking him. Like I don't think one of them was a decent human being. Like we had a pedophile, like a convicted felon with a firearm. And I think the other person beat his wife or something, and he had parole violations. Like they were all pretty shitty people.
So are you telling me that one guy with the skateboard isn't a hero? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Because I was here. I was here. I saw that Sean King was mentioning him as a hero.
For what? Spanking someone in the ass with a fucking skateboard. Was he a frat boy wannabe? Trying to go and paddle someone?
I'm surprised. I'm surprised Sean King had enough of time after painting himself black to really tell us anything about any social issues.
He probably identifies with the one guy who called him the N-word. Yeah.
Here's the thing that I was saying earlier about this is that while the second guy he shot was definitely self-defense, sounds like the first one is too. I still need to look into that, find actual footage of it. But look, guys, if you're watching this, anyone and gals, when I say guys, I mean both genders. If you're watching this, I'm gonna say it again. Do not go to these riots. Do not go anywhere near them. These are war zones. This is anarchy. You're gonna get hurt if you're lucky, and you're probably gonna get killed with this shit. Because look, even if you do survive, look, even if Kyle did do absolutely nothing wrong, even if he was over the age of 18 or whatever it is to open carry there, the courts would still fuck him over. His life is still fucked. Even if he does get, gets off scot-free with this trial, which, by the way, he has the Sandman's lawyer, the Covington kid, his lawyer. His life is still ruined. He's still seen as the Black Lives Matter murderer, and he's probably traumatized for life from this.
Yeah, probably. But I think, like, from a legal perspective, I think they do beat. I think because he has. Let's look at this in a larger perspective too. Like these idiots, these prosecutors are the biggest idiots on the planet, because like all they're doing is they're charging these guys. And like Marilyn Mosby in Baltimore did this, that pretty much everybody, all these prosecutors that are in charge of these so-called hate crimes, they overcharge, and they're not. And when you do that, these high-priced lawyers tend to do this thing pro bono because A, it's free publicity, and B, they know they're easily going to beat this thing, right? Derek Chauvin, look, I'm sorry, that's not second-degree murder. It's not second-degree murder. Any lawyer worth their salt is going to beat this thing calmly. It's going to be an easy beating of that of second-degree murder charge.
So
it won't even be.
So one of my go ahead. I was just going to say, one of my mods actually just sent me a link to a video on this whole Kenosha thing. I'm not sure whether or not you guys were able to hear it, but do you mind if I play it on my stream?
Go ahead, I guess.
Alrighty.
Sure. What are your...
Well, how long is it though?
Let me see here.
Like, anything over like 3 minutes is gonna people are gonna tune out.
Let me see.
Plus, I assume it's gonna be like radio silence. Unless I tune up the riots, I could do that. I could turn on the volume on the riots.
What's the TWR that we can watch it another time?
Yeah.
Or you could like turn on my stream link, or let's see. Sauce multitasking, that video I linked is 100. Alright, let me see what this is. Okay. Alan Powell in the chat says they were probably hoping they could trick him into a plea deal, but they effed around and are about to find out too.
Yeah, like this is what they do. So these are what these prosecutors do. But this is a standard common practice for prosecutors. They try to overcharge so they could get them to plead out for a lesser charge. This is how they operate. The problem is that anybody who gets a lawyer worth any kind of their salt is going to beat out the overcharges, and this is what we find out. And so a lot of these public cases these high priced lawyers are going to take them either on the cheap or pro bono, because they know that they're going to get free publicity. They're going to own these prosecutors, because these prosecutors are the worst of the worst. And it's just like, and then And you know what? I think they kind of do this on purpose too, just because it makes them look good socially outside of the courtroom. And then they could say, and then once they lose, they could be like, "Oh, see, look, the system is against you."
Yeah, no, that sounds pretty fucking realistic.
But in all reality, they're just terrible attorneys. So, like the prosecutors are just terrible at their jobs. So,
Also, one thing I should say too is Tucker Carlson's comment that was drawing some like controversy on Twitter, where he said like it shouldn't surprise people like that a 17-year-old was taking up arms, like bringing order when nobody else is so true. And oh yeah, that chick does have that scooty, right, Alex? She's like riding through. This is fucking weird, crazy. I'm gonna bring up the Portland stream too because I found a better stream. But this is what I was like. We were talking about this like before. Like we're afraid it was gonna get worse before it gets better, and well, we turned out to be right, didn't we?
Yep.
I know Trent was saying that too when he was on, but how much worse is it going to get is the only question now, because guns are being drawn. There were guns drawn in Portland by protesters.
get way worse.
It's
Gonna get way worse.
Well,
crazy.
We haven't really seen both sides with armed conflict yet. We saw one side with arms, like every once in a while, but we have not seen like both sides shooting at each other.
I think, I mean, for me personally, I think that I think this is a coup. I think this is a coup to overthrow the government. That's what I feel like it is. I feel like the Black Lives Matter, Antifa, all this stuff, feel like it is a coup to overthrow the political government. And really, I feel like we should be treating it as such.
Well, exactly. Hence my reference to the Americans earlier, and I mean the communists. I mean, Black Lives Matter. The leaders have basically said that they're trained Marxists, which everyone knows that there is literally no difference between Marxists and communists. So they want a communist revolution in this country, and they're gonna try their damnedest to get it.
Someone has been shot in Portland.
Well,
That was what we saw earlier with all those cops when we were first starting the stream.
Yeah.
With all those cops like in a section off the block there. Somebody's been shot, and police and the ambulance are attending to the person. This was about 27 minutes ago. Major shooting in Portland. And there's now video out of the gunshots happening. It's all on Cernovich's Twitter. Everybody should follow him for that. And Sam's absolutely right. Like, there's no difference between Marxists and communists, and that's what they're trying to do. Is like, they are trying to overthrow the government. The mob wants to take over. Yeah. Like again, we've heard the rhetoric like repeatedly. Yeah. They said no justice, no peace. They said, that they.
Well, what kind? Yeah, and then I have to ask, well, what kind of justice are you? What kind of justice are you talking about? Because there are always there's always investigations, and with all of these like these public mishaps, right? All the Trump administration has ran parallel investigations via the FBI and all that stuff. Like they're doing their job. It's not Trump's fault. Trump's doing everything he possibly can. It's like it's your own Democrat mayors, Democrat DAs, Democrat governors. All of these guys are sandbagging their own shit. And like, but that's not really what this is about. This is no justice is like basically no justice, no peace is saying is just a smaller way of saying, well, just abolish the government, basically. They
want what they want in terms of when they say justice, they basically want a kangaroo court, literally, where they can just like start executing cops or like political, opposition. Basically, like the Salem witch trials, basically. And I guarantee you that every single person on this stream would be brought up for a mock trial at some point.
Well, I don't think the Salem witch trials is what they're trying to emulate. They're trying to emulate the Russian Revolution, I think. Where they just go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, certainly that too. But what I'm saying is, in terms of, like, fake trials or whatever, they would certainly do it like Salem witch, style, where you get executed either way. So,
Well, and I want to bring up another point too, because I think we're seeing the full, like, sort of the final. I don't want to say the final form, but like it's like the whole left is now all like getting towards this final form of Marxism right now. Like they're all sort of unifying towards that path. And what I'm wondering is what's going to happen to the right. And one of the things I saw on Cernovich's Twitter was that he on his first video he said something like I think at the title of it is like did Rand Paul wake up or something like that. And yeah, did Rand Paul wake up? Because we all saw when he was leaving the convention, he was Antifa was trying to attack him. Which is, look, I want to mention something. Two things. One, they're getting more bold and ballsy, these people. They used to just attack Proud Boys and like white supremacists and Trump supporters and like people, not elected officials. Now they're trying to attack. Well, there was a guy who tried to shoot Rand Paul. And a few others.
Have that like issue with his neighbor?
And that too, yeah. Well, what's with Rand Paul? Like, and that's a separate thing we'll dive into. But my point here is that these people are going for these government people now. Like, this is getting like more intense, more and more intense. And why the fuck is Rand Paul wasting his time creating bills in honor of Breonna Taylor? Like, what are you doing?
He's probably tired of getting shot at.
Well, it's not helping. And that's the thing. These libertarians, like, they all act tough and like that they're like doomsday preppers for like, and they're ready for when the battle comes. The battle's here, guys. And you're not fighting it.
Thank you. I was just gonna say that because when I was at Yale, everyone was talking about, I can't wait until the Boogaloo comes, and it's like, it's like, guys, the Boogaloo is
it's here.
I've been a Boogaloo boy for the past, couple of years. Where the hell have you?
I was careful saying that you're gonna be put on a fucking watch list.
Well, I mean,
we know somebody that got banned from a Discord for making like a Boogaloo, like posting a Boogaloo meme.
Well, I mean, I'm already banned off Discord, so.
That's true. Oh, yeah, that's true. So, yeah, maybe you were banned for that too. But my point here is that, and this is an important point, because Breonna Taylor's death seemed to be something that the right was kind of jumping on. I was like, okay, guys, we agree with you on this one. Like, let's do something about this. First of all, that was fucking stupid, guys. Learn your lesson. These are all lies until like a couple days later. And there was a report dropped on the Breonna Taylor death, and Brandon Tatum actually got the exclusive on that. And it turns out her boyfriend was like a big-time drug dealer. She was involved with it.
Yeah.
And the boyfriend was shooting at the fucking cops. He was shooting at the cops first. He was the first to fire.
And people don't care. Like, yeah, and this is another, like, with so many of these other issues too. It's like there's all these issues, like with these cases, like with Breonna Taylor. There's a good chance that these cops already know the fucking backstories. Like, before they even go into these situations, there's a good chance that they know these people. Like,
they did. They documented it. They were watching them for weeks.
Like if you're in the dope game, probably there's a good chance that these cops are probably already on to you. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, and this is like it's like with the Jacob, the Jacob one, the dude that got shot, Jacob Blake. Like, are you telling me that cops don't already know this situation, right? They don't already have an idea of what's going on, that it's just like And it's like this dude probably what we don't know. I'm assuming that this dude probably has a history, and they're like, and then you hear you hear liberals say, "Oh, what happened in the past doesn't matter right now. They got shot. He got shot in the back 7 times." I'm
Yeah,
like,
they don't say about Kyle.
bullshit. It's like it's the guy. You have Jacob Blake, who gets called, who violates parole, his parole stemming from a sexual assault. Like apparently he grabs her parts, and then says, "Oh, it smells like you've been with somebody else." Stop. How are women not mortified by this situation, right? How are women?
Trump jokes about grabbing someone by the pussy. That's terrible.
Jacob Blake actually grabbed this woman by the fucking pussy, and nobody's saying shit, right? And like, how are you not terrified of this guy? And then so they try to arrest him for violating parole. He fights them. They try to tase him. He fights the taser, which means he's probably on drugs. Because if anybody who's ever been tased knows that getting tased hurts like a motherfucker unless you're on some kind of drugs, right? So you're on something, right? So he fights off the taser and then runs toward the fucking car. Who knows what the fuck is in that car? If it's a knife, if it's a gun, or if he just wants to get in the car and take off, which is even worse because now you're high as shit and you're probably you're at risk of running people over and fleeing from the scene on top of that. No, I'm sorry. I don't, the cops did their job, and yeah, that.
Okay, this is like, I don't know if you guys are seeing this on the stream, but I think there's some sort of celebrity. It's at the Portland protests now because press is swarming this guy and everybody is like right behind him. They're taking like lots of pictures. And there's a dude right behind him holding a sign. I'm not making this up. Here it is. It says, "Let's all go to Bill Gates' house instead." Do we have a man on the inside?
Yeah,
is that our guy? Oh god. Yeah, who is this guy? Yeah, they're taking. I don't know if you can see this, like you guys, but like, there's some dude. Okay, dude, pull the camera up. Come on, there you go. Come on, up. There we go. Yeah, there's some dude they're like taking lots of pictures of. It's some sort of like. Wait, is that? No way. Is that what I think it is? I can't quite tell. Is this the chick that they're actually looking at? This is. I can't. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah, I'm watching this. I'm watching this too, and
I'm gonna refresh.
A lot of people not wearing masks. Just noticing.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. They're peaceful protesters. They're allowed to do that.
Yeah. If you're a protester, you don't have to wear a mask. But God forbid you want to go back to work or do anything normal.
Speaking of that, Sean, did you hear about that issue at Penn State? I think it was either today or last night.
Oh boy, what happened
They
now?
had like another like big thing at East Halls where there was like this fight or something, and there was like a bunch of people around like not wearing masks, and the RAs were just like not doing anything about it.
Oh,
like,
somebody fell. Somebody fell in Portland. Whoa, somebody's hurt. Somebody's hurt bad. It looks like they fell down this thing where like there was like a fountain or something.
Like a manhole.
No, yeah, I'll look that up at Penn State. That doesn't surprise me, fucking people. Radio Freedom says, "I'm worried about some crazed dem going after the kid," referring to Kyle. That's a good point. Kyle's got a target on his back. Navarro didn't cross state lines with a rifle after working in Kenosha, helped clean up riot damage. Then armed himself in Kenosha after a bunch of business owners asked for volunteers to help protect his business. Yes, look, and I get it. It's good intention.
See, that's kind of shady too. If like business owners are giving a minor like fucking gun, like come on, guys, like we had to do. I mean, I can't really blame them though because it is like a fucking war zone over there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, yeah, and that's how I'm like. My stance is like, yes, I get it, but don't fucking get involved with this and be like you're a kid. Like you think you're Captain America and you're not. Like you don't get the
He
reality.
kind of
of
did.
this.
No, it
Just
looks like
a couple,
the crowd.
enemies of the state.
The person in the crowd's Joey Gibson.
So
Oh
go.
yeah, because I was hearing that
Patriot
earlier.
prayer.
Who is Joey
Patriot-
Gibson?
The Patriot prayer. I think
Oh no. Oh.
it's
Yeah, I was hearing people
founder
say
of
it
Patriot
before. I
Prayer.
didn't think it was the same person.
So what actually is Patriot Prayer? Like I hear them a couple times. They kind of come up around the same times that like Proud Boys gets brought up.
Well. I mean, I can explain here in a sec, but real quick, Random Randy in my chat says, my wife couldn't believe me when I told her the real story of Breonna Taylor. She asked me how that wasn't reported. I told her if she looks, she'll find it. She was shocked. Well, yeah, but I mean, here's the thing. No one, first off, most people read headlines these days. They don't even read full articles. They literally just read headlines and then subheadlines of articles most of the time. So, that's number one. And if they do, they mostly read NBC or the New York Times or WAPO or, name your outlet. So
Name your fake news.
Yeah. So they're not getting, actual real details on that.
Oh wait, he's right wing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
Patriot. But you're talking about the Patriot Prayer guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
but from
Base?
well, hold on though. So from what I've heard, Joey Gibson is one of
By
these.
the way, the person shot at the Portland police. The person shot in Portland is dead. So that's
Ooh, shit.
Boy. See, this becomes like a fucking cycle where they protest, someone gets shot by police, they protest hard enough, another person gets shot by police, rinse and repeat.
What were you saying, Sam, about Joe Gibson?
From what I was saying, and I don't pay that much attention to these different, personalities, but supposedly Joey Gibson, from what I've heard, is the whole Patriot Prayer thing is a bit of a scam. And
they sell knives door to door.
well, no, they
Instead they sell Bibles.
They kind of do the thing that Owen does a bit, where it's kind of culty and whatnot.
I never heard this guy before.
I mean,
literally, why am I just hearing about this dude now?
I mean, to be fair, I hadn't heard of the kill stream until about 2 years ago. So,
well, that's 2 years ago. I'm just talking about this dude now, and I'm like, I'm like you, Sam. I follow Gavin a lot. I know a lot about the Proud Boys. It's
I've heard about Patriot Prayer before. I just don't know what's the truth versus what's the fiction. So I hear they're asked from the news, and it's I can't trust that shit. They say that Proud Boys is this alt-right militia too, so it's okay.
well,
yeah, when I was looking up Joey's page, they described Proud Boys as far right, which is the dumbest thing ever.
Well, my overall point being is Sean is there are so many internet personalities out there now that whenever whenever I hear of someone I don't know, I always get oh my god, you haven't heard of so and so. So
yeah. Well, it's I knew of Fuentes long before the Groiper War thing was happening.
Oh yeah.
So once people knew about him, then it was I was actually surprised some people didn't know of him. Even if they didn't watch a lot of his shit, I was yeah, guys, this is Nick being Nick.
Yeah, how that kid will always be. It will always be a mystery to me how that kid got popular.
I'm not. I mean, he does have some talent, for sure, and that's how. I mean, here's the thing too. It's people that are talented don't necessarily become popular or famous. Like it's just not like a golden ticket. It
Right.
helps, and that's how you get there. But that's not the goal. That's not just automatically going to happen. And I think if he hadn't done that Charlie Kirk stuff, where they were calling out Charlie Kirk's hypocrisies and like putting like really like risque questions at him, he wouldn't be as big as he is now. Like that was what really blew him up. But even before that, his channel had quite a lot of subscribers, but and his Twitter had quite a lot of followers. How he grew to that level, I do not really know.
He was on the kill stream and stuff a lot. Like that's where I first heard of him.
It just seemed.
Oh, really?
It just seemed like. Look, my point to all this though is, it seems like there are a lot.
Fed?
Maybe. Even if he's not a Fed. By the way, I'm getting feedback from someone's microphone, like a buzz. So, okay, that's better.
I don't know what that was. I didn't even change anything.
It must be yours, Sean.
Yeah, I'm hearing that again. I heard that. I think what was it on Wednesday or whatever the fuck that thing was.
But anyway,
my problem I'm having right now, and I don't know why this is a problem all suddenly, is that I have to turn the gain up so that my level is equal to your guys' level on the OBS. But if I turn it up too much, obviously it's going to pick up more things. But if I turn down too little, it's like way too quiet, and then I have to like make the whole video quiet and to make it level and even, which is annoying.
do you have like a mixer? Are you using one with your computer?
I'm using the audio interface like mixer on here, like just the gain control.
But are you using like a physical interface or like a
Yeah. The only thing I did change is I re-added the input, so maybe in OBS, if I go to advanced audio properties, I might be able to change some stuff in there.
Oh, the NBA resumed playing today, like as if I gave a shit. I was just checking up on Twitter, and by the way, how stupid did that NBA fucking look with all this shit? Oh my god. They went and
Can you explain that whole thing? I didn't really keep up with it.
So after the Jacob Blake situation, these NBA players basically protested. Some of the players were like, we're gonna stop the rest of the playoffs and protest for Jacob Blake, right? And so like within a day they backed out. I guess I'm assuming the owners were like, hey, if you back out of this postseason, you're going to be giving up like 30% of your pay, which the NBA players were resumed that they would play within the next few days. And it was like, so yeah. But yeah, I mean, how they looked stupid because after the whole time, so when the whole thing happened, I think the next day it was like LeBron said something about it. He's like, "Oh, they could have done." LeBron was like, "Oh, they could have done something different. Like they could have done something to subdue this guy." Like, well, video showed that wasn't possible. And then Doc Rivers, he gave this. He was like in tears, which are probably crocodile tears, but like he was like, "Yo, you don't understand, man. These black people are getting shot every day," which is not true. These black people are living in fear. If it is fear, it's self-made and it's false. Because these black people are getting hunted every day. That's not true either. But and then of course the real story came out about this dude's criminal past. And then you didn't hear shit about it ever again. Like I've heard nothing since. Like you got like word to the wise: be careful when you jump on some bullshit like this because because when facts come out, it makes you look really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Really stupid. It made the NBA looked really stupid. Like really fucking stupid. And they already look stupid too, because it's like they're, you know, they've got all these like they've got Black Lives Matter
Well-
on the courts. They have like they have these like quotes that are on the back of their jerseys or whatever.
And LeBron especially looks stupid now. Have you seen the meme out there that just came out where it says when you forgot to do the summer reading for school and someone asked,
Yeah.
well,
You see that. By the way, thanks for reminding me, Sam. You see that? You see that piece of shit? He was flipping a book while he was being interviewed. He was flipping the autobiography of Malcolm X, right? As he was getting interviewed,
and
you knew he didn't read that fucking book.
And it's hilarious because he did exactly what we all did back in high school, where he's like, I thought that book was really like informative and
he said some shit like, he seemed like a very intelligent man, and he uses the word Negro a lot in the book. And it's like what? That's some shit that you'd say like when you get busted out in class. Like, oh, so did you read the book, LeBron? Can you please explain what you read? It's like, it looked like a very good book. It was very informative. It looked like it had the word Negro in it a lot, and used a lot of big words that I couldn't understand. And like, no, you didn't read the fucking book, dude.
Well, to be fair, I mean, who the hell ever did read their summer reading?
I mean, look, you gotta be fair. Look, now, Malcolm X did have a very he did have like, you could learn a lot from Malcolm X, but like, this dude didn't read. This dude didn't read the fucking book. It was a prop. He flipped the pages in front of everybody while he was getting interviewed. He didn't read the damn book.
Yeah. Well, it's like when you see these people on the news that are like interviewing Sean Hannity about his new book. It's like, oh, Sean, your book was so great. Or you have like somebody on like the Tonight Show or like the fucking like Colbert or whatever, and they're like, so, Big 8 Triple A Club, you have this new book out. It's really good. Yeah, it's amazing. It's like, dude, you probably read like the first fucking page. And
Right,
what was that?
I'll give you guys a dirty little secret. Most of these celebrity books are actually not written by them. They're written by like ghost authors.
Oh yeah, that's very, very typical. Like only some will even like put their credit them on the cover. They'll say like, I remember like O'Reilly used to do. I'd say Bill O'Reilly and so. But these I remember Milo did a video on the Mary Trump book like a few weeks ago, and he proved that like a lot of these journalists just read like the prologue and like some snippets from it, because all the quotes that they were talking about, all the shit they were talking about was just from like the first chapter. Like it wasn't. It might have even been a prologue. I forget what it was called, but it was like literally just like the first 10 pages of the book. And I get like nobody has time to read the entire book, like to do something on it, but don't act like you've like, read it and you like know every detail in it.
Audible.com, bitches.
Yeah, that'd be a good scoot around for. But Andy No has footage of the shooting now on Twitter, by the way. And like Phil said, Andy No saying that it's been confirmed the person has been shot and killed. Motive, well, they're still looking into that to see who actually did it. Antifa's claiming it was one of them that was killed, but that's not confirmed.
Yeah.
And apparently also, big time hardcore Antifa people were like shipped into DC tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were like flown in or bussed in or whatever they do anymore. Mystery van, like road trip, I don't know what. But this was a planned strategic attack tonight.
I do feel like I do feel like after this election, like when Trump wins, I feel like you're going to see a lot of arrests. I feel like you're going to see a ton of arrests because one of the things I'm thinking, because we're already seeing it, like we're already seeing the DOJ arresting a ton of fucking people from like the earlier protests with like Portland and shit, like or Seattle. I'm sorry, because I noticed that the DOJ, they tweet out like blotters that list off people that have been arrested for this shit. So that they're laying low, they're gathering information, they're taking names, they're identifying people, they're seeing what's happening, and they're just like they're keeping an eye. I feel it looks like they're keeping an eye on the situation. It's like, well, I think they're laying low, and they're like, you know, they're doing their rattlesnake thing. They're like laying low, and they're waiting for the right time to strike, and then bam.
Yeah, I think you're right because they've done that for. Whoa, some action's happening. We're moving. But yeah, I think you're right because they've done that too, like before, like with the ICE raids when they crack down some hot spots for illegals. You know, I think they're gonna do like a fucking Antifa raid. They're gonna like raid these fucking bitches at some point.
Yeah, I always feel like if you burn down or if you try to burn down a federal building or break into a federal
You're
building,
fucked.
yeah, well that too, you should be fucked. But no, I think you should be sent to Guantanamo and fed a cock meat sandwich. That's what. Yes,
Dude,
that was
like that.
Yes, that's a Harold and Kumar reference. But
I like it. Dictator Phil is coming back. No more soft.
I love when Dictator Phil comes back.
No more soft. Pussy. I mean, fluffy Phil. So
watch your mouth, young man. No,
So,
it's hammer time, bitches.
Well, I mean, it's, you know, I try to be nice. But these fucking protesters bring out the worst of me.
See, that was me, like, probably like every single day before. I'm trying to find a good time when I'm just like, no more. No, sorry, don't care. No, can't have any sympathy for people anymore. Can't give you the benefit of the doubt either.
Nope.
That was me back in 2016. Like the Trump derangement syndrome during the election was so bad. It's like so I wasn't a Trump supporter from the get-go. Like I was actually kind of like, yeah, I'll vote for whoever the Republican nominee is. And like then I was kind of like, okay, well, I'll begrudgingly vote for Trump. Well, then between the Never Trumpers and the Antifa people, the Trump derangement syndrome in 2016 got so bad where it's like, nah, fuck you guys. I'm voting for Trump just to spite you assholes. So
yeah, I think for me, when I stopped being nice was probably when the Sargon event happened, because that's when I personally had to deal with these people, like literally face to face, and like even before that when they were doing a bunch of our shit.
Oh yeah.
So, that to me was like the sort of breaking point when I realized how these people are just so fucking insane.
So here's an update. Here's a brief update on so we had talked about the RNC and the DNC, and we talked about how when the DNC happened, right? It provided no change in polls. Now, normally when a party gives their convention, like after their convention, there's usually like a bump in the polls for their side, right? Yeah. That's usually the way it always is. However, this Democratic National Convention, after it, 0% bump. Okay, 0%. Right. And in some cases, it actually went down.
it went down. Not only that, but kind of breaking news.
Yeah.
So, did you guys hear that Tim Pool and I knew that this was fucking coming. I knew that this was coming eventually, but he has officially said that he's going to vote for Trump. And yes, I know that half my audience goes, "Oh, Tim is a fence sitter. Tim wears beanies. He's just
not anymore. He's
just
wearing the MAGA hat."
Okay.
Or a MAGA beanie.
Yeah. Here. So this last poll that I just saw, right, from the Democracy Institute, shows Trump is now leading in the national popular vote, 48 to 45. And in the battleground states, Florida, Iowa, Minnesota, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, Trump is up 49 to 42. So
I believe it. I'll tell you, like, just in PA, just in a, look, Trump supporters have been fired up in PA. On the ground, they've been fired up.
Mhm.
In some pockets, not so much, like the county I'm working out of. But even the county I'm working out of, there's been a shift. There has been a noticeable shift that I can feel, where people finally, it seems like once that convention hits, they go, okay, it's game time. We're done spring training. It's time to play this thing, where the playoffs are over, like it's the Super Bowl, that's what it feels like. Or I guess this is the playoffs. I guess we want to keep the sports analogy. Like the season's over, we're in the playoffs. Shit's real. Shit matters, and the Super Bowl is coming. That's what it feels like, and you're seeing this even in the streets to a point. Like it's escalating. It's shit's getting real. People are fired up on both sides.
Here's another poll. All right, so the YouGov America Yahoo News poll has Donald Trump leading Joe Biden amongst independents 44 to 34.
Yeah.
That's a doozy right there.
And we're not saying these polls are legit. We're just saying, like, if Trump is doing this good in these bullshit polls, imagine how good he's actually doing.
We thought we saw. Look, and it's like the early polls aren't anything to really write home about. We decide to show up when it counts, right?
Yeah. Right.
This is where, and this is crunch time now, where we're starting to see, hey, some of these people are getting their mail-in ballots now. Some of these people are starting to inquire about where they can vote, where they can go.
The first vote's gonna be cast next week.
Yeah, and it doesn't look good, and ultimately it really doesn't look good for Joe Biden, because now there's nothing that they can do to really create a kind of bump. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing there. So basically, it's Trump is in the driver's seat right now, and there's nothing. The only thing that would change, the only thing that politicians can really hope for, is if they could win the debates. But dude, asking Joe Biden to win a fucking debate against Donald Trump, holy God, that is a monumental task right there.
Yeah. And I think too, like, I made this map, I think back in June. I'd have to check when I said I made this, but I was thinking, like, in my optimistic mind, if Trump keeps getting better, things keep looking up and up for him, if it's more good shit's happening for him, he's going to keep all the states he won 16, and he's going to add on and win Minnesota. He's going to win New Mexico. He's going to win Nevada. He's going to win even maybe New Hampshire. I was just betting on. Now, given the convention bump, given how things are going, if things keep going in this direction, that's the big if here. I'm not saying this is how it's going to end, but if things keep going in this direction, he's going to carry all those states. He's going to keep Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Florida, and win Minnesota, Nevada, New Mexico, and even New Hampshire. if things keep going this way. Now, a lot can happen in 2 months. We're almost 60 days out. We're like 65 now. A lot can change, but Donald Trump goes to bed happy and optimistic and very, very, very satisfied with how things are going, because he needs to keep it up, and he's got a lot of work ahead of him, and he knows that. But the Democrats are making some major mistakes. They fucked up their convention. It was a weak, low energy convention. It was uninspiring. They're not on the ground knocking doors, which I can't emphasize how huge that's going to hurt them. I mean, that is just insanely huge. They're doing nothing about the riots. They're even condoning them and bailing people out of jail.
Well, not only that, but they're blaming Trump for the riots, and it's like,
yeah, they're trying to do some guilt by association there, which isn't really going to work when people realize, wait, these governors locked me down. These governors aren't doing anything about the riots, and then the mayors. I hope they wise up to that. But then keep in mind, on top of that, the Democrats want to keep people shut down and hurt their businesses. I mean, that's, again, it all comes back to the pandemic and the virus, because these shutdowns we all thought were necessary in the first round, but then we were like, okay, guys, we need to adapt to this. We need to have a new normal, and we need to keep making money to put food on the table. And the Democrats are all like, oh, no, we need to shut down again. We need to send your kids home. We need to shut down the schools. And single mothers, working moms, moms can't deal. They can't have this, and that's a core part of his base is these Trump moms and these working class moms, and they're gonna go, okay, this is ridiculous. I want to be able to send my kids to school. I have the option to, and you're not gonna let me, and then I can't work and bring home money. That is what affects people, and they feel it. And yeah, there's anarchy in the streets, taking away people's safety. They're not gonna like that. Their need to feel safe needs to be fulfilled. And if you're not fulfilling their need to be safe, you are on the wrong side.
That's a good point that you bring up there, Sean. And now that I'm thinking about it, I want to bring something up here too, because back in January, right after the State of the Union, two things happened. One, Rush Limbaugh got diagnosed with lung cancer, but then Rush also said back in January that the Dems and the deep state were going to try and get the country to shut down because of COVID, right? That it was going to come here, and that the powers that be were going to basically shut us down, right? Well, all of the mainstream media and news outlets were saying that, oh, Rush Limbaugh has become Alex Jones, and they're all conspiracy theorists. We're not going to shut down here. That's crazy. We're not gonna close down schools or anything. 2 months later, oh, we need to shut down everything. So
yeah, I think we need to shut down when we did. After that, no, we gotta adapt. We gotta just social distance, wear masks, we'll be fine. I found even this tweet. I need to fact check this, see if this is actually true, but I'm gonna bring this up before you keep going, because this might actually feed into your point. There was a report that said, quote, this week the CDC quietly updated the COVID numbers to admit that only 6% of all the 153,504 deaths recorded actually died from COVID. That's 9,210 deaths. Okay, so we went from 150,000 to 9,000. The other 94% had 2 to 3 other serious illnesses, and the overwhelming majority were of very advanced age.
Yeah, that's my point. The other point is now they're finding that the masks don't really. They do some stuff, but not really.
Well, if you're not protecting your eyes, then the mask can only do very limited protection.
And that's basically. People kind of make fun of me because I wear my mask and my Ray-Bans, so they think I look like some outlaw. But I mean, that's kind of why. If you have to wear, if you have to wear a mask, wear sunglasses too. And if you're gonna wear sunglasses, buy a high quality pair. So
Why not just wear a gas mask? Nothing wrong with that.
I've actually thought about that. I kid you not.
We're Darth Vader mask.
I got like a Polish or fucking Czech gas mask in the basement. I need to go and find it.
I mean, it's part of the problem is it's really hard to go outside here in Florida with a mask and sunglasses because your sunglasses start fogging up like immediately. So.
Oh, the Trump International Hotel in Vancouver has permanently closed.
Good, get the fuck out of Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, probably Trudeau was bitching
That's
out.
a new one, too.
Fuck it.
It's probably too politicized.
Yeah. Get the fuck out
I'm
of
on the
Canada.
Collegian's website because I was going to look up that story you were mentioning, Alex, and the first thing I fucking see is Joe Jurgensen's big-ass, creepy-ass face on a bus. And the article reads, third-party candidates' Pennsylvania ballot requirements weren't changed despite pandemic. Who cares?
Well, I know a couple people who
Yeah,
care, literally a fucking couple, and like, oh my god. Yeah. That person's
Dude,
so
they
fucking
keep... Look, I can understand the argument against these, like, requirements to get on ballots, like having to get all these signatures. I don't know the reason behind it. There probably is a good reason. But if you can't get, like, a few thousand signatures in an entire state, there's a bigger problem here. It's
Well, I
not the
think-
ballot requirements, it's your fucking candidate.
Well, I
And you're
think they do
gra-
that because they don't want to have a bunch of like bullshit candidates on there, and it would confuse people. 'Cause people,
Mhm.
it would get expensive, especially with how come because apparently like I was at Black Hat a few weeks ago, virtually, and like the U.S. is one of the most complex like voting like system or not voting system but like ballots in the world due to how many like different like local, state, federal, all that shit. We have like over like I forget how many they have, but it's like several. I think it's like several thousand like different ballots for a given election.
Really?
Yeah, something ridiculous like that. Like in Europe, you might have like a couple. It's like it's insane. So we are number one.
Yeah. We are number one. Hey. What was the other thing we were mentioning? I said the Collegian of Penn State, and you mentioned something else.
Did you see that kid yet? Or the East
kid?
Halls like shenanigans?
Yeah, I'm looking that up right now. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. Apparently, I have a man on the inside. Apparently, our student government is trying as hard as shit to move Penn State all online. They want to shut down the university. I want to know how many of those UPA people are actually on campus right now. Because my girlfriend she says it's a total ghost town. You don't even need to shut down. Like, nobody's out. Nobody's interacting with anyone.
Except at East Halls, there's a bunch
Yeah.
of kids fucking around. Like it's on the Reddit, I know. Like there was like a TikTok video
Oh, God, would be.
on the fucking Reddit. Like
You've been in that Reddit a lot.
I don't have Facebook anymore.
That's now you're lurking on r/Penn State.
I look on a bunch of different fucking places. I fucking hate Reddit. It's like, it's like hate watching it. So I can't like go to the meme pages I used to. It's like what like that or like Instagram and like Instagram's just pictures and like sure there's some funny memes and shit, but like I miss my like funny fucking like Facebook pages.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I want you back on Facebook.
Me too. Fucking Zuck's gonna wait till fucking November 10th or something, like right after the election.
Yeah. Oh, and I do have something I'm gonna talk about is off air because I don't want anybody to steal my idea. But I found something that we could that might go viral if we do it right about something Penn State did. And I don't know why nobody's talking about it. It's actually something it's potentially pretty bad. Like not like super bad, but it's like
Yeah, let's
it's an
bring that
optics check moment.
Yeah, talk about that off air, but yeah, no, I get you, man. I get you.
Let's see, I'm going on the Penn State sub. Oh god. Oh, East strikes again.
So, gentlemen, do you think there's anything left really to cover in regards to what's been going on, or shall we call it the show?
Yeah, I think we talked about most everything. You talked about the Kyle thing. You talked, about the Trump, the riots, a little bit of everything.
Just a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and there's really no like pop culture news or anything. Like,
I mean, the guy died.
Dude, Black Panther.
Dude.
oh shit, yeah,
That's
that's
sensitive of you, Sam. You must be racist.
oh
he's
yeah.
black.
Chadwick Boseman passed.
I wish I had a name like Chadwick.
Chadwick
Sounds like
Boseman
Chadwick.
Chad. Everybody have to call you Chad every day.
I used to know. I knew this one guy at my work. His name's Chad. He's awesome. But
And
name like Chad Dick, or Chadwick. People are gonna think it's like Chad Dick. Like this guy's got it.
Yes. Oh, dude, they were doing marches on College Ave, like on the street.
Oh god.
Black Lives Matter. Dude, I want to go up there so badly. God. Because like now I can like fuck with people and I don't have to worry about like Penn State doing anything.
99% of the time. Like when I was there was fucking nobody.
Yeah, that's what
I was so pissed off. Fucking Indian Pavilion, man. They shut down the all you can eat. Fuck that.
well,
what if Indian Pavilion gets shut down, like permanent?
Well, they shut down all the restaurants by my college campus. So
yeah, dude, our entire town was shut down apparently.
Well, see, everywhere I'm at, like I can go to this like sushi place and it's all you can eat, and like I can get that shit there. But like if I'm at Penn State, nope, can't get my fucking Indian food.
That is one thing. I am 90% sure they're going to shut us down one last time completely.
Oh, we're gonna get shut down, Penn State. Like the student government's pushing for it, and it's these whole shit keeps happening. There's gonna be a day where there's just this like massive spike, and then Penn State's gonna shut everyone down. I'm like, you fucks, you stupid fuck.
My school does this really weird, ridiculous thing where we have to log in to like some portal system every single day and do this COVID like check, like how are you feeling?
Yeah.
So that you every single day, like even on the weekends, I'm like, really? I'm not like, why are you sending this to me on a Saturday? I'm not planning on going.
It's probably like that, like I don't know, reminds me of that like sexual assault course they tried to make me do at Penn State. You had to go and like it was like an hour long, and I found out a way to go and like speed up the videos. And I just got done in 5 minutes. I didn't fucking listen to it. It was like, how much beers makes you drunk? They're like Sally had like she's wasted. You see Sally, what should you do? And like A, like rape her. B, like don't rape her. C, call like campus whatever and tell them that this person's like passed out drunk.
Yeah.
It's like, which one?
I had to do that thing too.
Yeah.
But they make us do this every day, and if you like forget, they like send you a reminder email and like threaten to penalize you. It's like,
see, I don't think that's necessarily like a bad idea because
every
that way
day,
they're not. What?
Every single day though, like on the fucking weekends.
Well, see, the weekends is probably when you should actually be doing it more because that's when people are going to be hanging out. I think that's actually a decent idea
No,
because
that's fucking retarded, man.
I
why?
mean, listen,
And that way you don't have to be testing people all the time. The tests are, not exactly plentiful, and the tests are, take time and money and energy. But you just ask people like, "Hey, how you doing? You doing all right?" So you can keep tabs on people also. So it's
What's stopping people from like this is security theater? They could go and fucking lie. Like,
yeah,
hey, I went over to a party with a bunch of people. Oh yeah, no, I was social distancing with a mask. Okay.
yeah,
Well, I think that's why they're doing it, so
exactly.
they have it on record.
Exactly. That's my point. And also, like if I if I forget, here's my thing. Like most students, especially during midterms and whatnot, are busy with midterm projects and whatnot. So like, what if you just accidentally forget to take the survey because you're busy with shit? Like sometimes people just forget to do stuff like that. It's not because they're intentionally like trying to lie about about whether or not they have something.
Yeah.
So
Well, and that's the thing. It's like I don't think anybody should be like penalized for it necessarily, but I do think it's a good idea to keep tabs on how everybody's feeling and doing. And if somebody does feel sick, you'll know, hey, this is somebody we should help out. This is somebody we should quarantine. This is somebody we should actually get tested. I think that actually helps filter things out.
If you felt like you need to be tested, you just go and say, hey, I feel like I have the coronavirus. Give me a phone call.
People don't because they're lazy and
they're going to be lazy and just fucking forget to go and do that. And then they're going to have a university enforcement officer coming up like, hey, buddy, you didn't take your fucking exam. What's going on here? You didn't take your survey. You got the runner. Let's go and quarantine this motherfucker. Or like, kick him out of the university because he was, he forgot during the weekend. Like his Aunt Sally died. He fucking forgot. How despicable.
Well, and I don't think they're going to necessarily act that way towards people, but I don't think you should either. I think it's not a big if it's like a 5-question thing that you can do in like
every single day. That's insane.
Yeah, that
to me it's not a look. It is not a big deal, and I think people should get over it. Like there are so many bigger issues happening. It's like if this is the thing you're drawing your line in the sand on, come on, guys. I'm not trying to sound like a groiper, but we have drag queen story time happening, and nobody cares. But you're told to put a mask on. Let's stop everything.
Well, it's not even that. It's like, okay, you need to go take a survey every single day without fail. Like, fuck, dude. Women can't even take a fucking pill every single day without fail. How can you expect everyone to do it?
That's my fucking point though. I'm with it's not so much that they have the survey. It's that if you forget, my school basically implies that if you simply forget, they're gonna send a fucking SWAT team to come be.
I'm imagining that meme when the SWAT team ropes into the house.
Here's the thing, if you go into class, they can go and take your temperature. They can go and if you're going to campus that day, sure. If you're going to class that day, sure. But on the weekend, that's none of their fucking business. And if you do feel sick, you can give them a phone call.
And see, here's the other thing too. 90% of my campus is operating online this semester anyway.
Okay, well, see that. Well, yeah, how many people are actually on your campus? That's the other thing I should ask. I mean, I'm thinking of this through the Penn State context. I think if this was having a Penn State where they quiz people, they had people do a COVID quiz for 5 seconds every day, I'd be like, dude, that to me is perfectly reasonable.
Okay, Penn State is Perfect. But do you actually know? Do you know how many buildings my campus has?
Yeah, that's the thing. I was gonna say, like, how big is this campus?
Have I ever told you?
I don't think so.
We have one building.
Oh shit.
That's
It's
it.
ridiculous.
I'll send you guys a picture of my campus on Discord. But yeah, we
One picture is the full campus.
yeah, it's I'll send you a picture. Hold on, but
More
yeah,
than Penn York, holy shit.
yeah. Well, like my high school. So just to give you context, my high school back in Colorado was bigger than my college campus is now.
So now, is this like a community college, or is this like a full
No, this is a full-blown university. So
do they have on-campus housing, or is it all commuter?
okay, so I go to USF, University of South Florida, and mine is a satellite campus, so it's a commuter.
Okay, yeah, it's like Penn. Yeah, because I went to Penn State York, and it was like that. We had like 3 buildings, but like one, like we only had like about 3 buildings. But
Yeah, like when I went to Penn State Altoona, like to visit it, it was like 2 main buildings, and like that was it.
Yeah, so for the satellite campuses, I don't understand like why. Like I get if you have like a big campus with like all those things, like why they would need to check on you every day. I get that, but if you're going to a satellite campus, and again, if you just simply forget, why then do they act like you're in Grand Theft Auto with like 5 stars and
grab you by the student conduct.
I don't think. Look, I think a lot of that's big talk, and I don't think they're actually gonna like be that stingy. They'll probably like send you a text reminder the next day. They'll be like, "Hey, you better do this or else." Like, I don't think they're gonna waste police resources on that. Like,
waste your time every fucking day, though. Like, no, like
you can probably do it like right when you wake up. It's like it is nothing. I think like people should honestly just not like. I think there's
that's ridiculous. You need to draw a fucking line somewhere. That's where I draw the fucking line.
You draw a line on taking a 5-second quiz
every day, though. It's like if you do this a 5-second survey once, okay. 5-second survey like maybe once a week, okay. 5-second survey every single day of the week, okay. Here's
5-second survey twice a week. I could see that. Maybe
even every single day that you like go on campus. But if you're not going on campus, that's stupid.
That's insane.
Every single.
How do they know who's going on campus and who isn't?
But if it's a commuter campus, ain't going on campus on the weekend. Just do it on like Monday and just do it on Monday and then like maybe Friday.
For his campus, yes, but for like a general like Penn State campus, like to me, it's perfectly reasonable to do it every day, especially since there's a good number of kids still there, and yet people like fucking like crowding outside these halls.
Yeah, they can lie.
Yes, but people can lie on anything. Like
and
it's still like you're not gonna get perfect results, but you're gonna get something. You're gonna get a better sense, and that's the whole point of it.
You're probably not going to get anything. People are going to think it's a joke. Someone's going to make a program that can fill the survey like every day for you because people are going to
take more time to make the program than to actually fill out the survey.
Every single day, though, like
it takes 5 seconds.
But if one person makes a program, distributes it to other people, I don't know. They could probably sell it. Like, hey, pay $5 and never have to deal with this stupid thing, and I'd pay for that.
I think people need to just get over it.
No, man. Like, it's one thing. Okay, we're wearing masks. Okay, I get that. But, like, taking a survey that you can easily lie on, nah.
Also, they want now they haven't mandated this, but they want.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's not that big of a deal.
Well, Okay, well, the test they have mandated, but what they want us to do is to install like a tracking app on our phone.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
insane.
see, you draw somewhere.
I
No,
am
that is insane.
Okay, Bill Gates, let's do that.
I am not fucking installing. It's bad enough that I have to install a fucking certificate on all my devices so I can use the school Wi-Fi. That's bad enough. Okay, I'm not.
I can't gamble without using location services on my phone now. So
You. Oh, don't lie, Dictator Phil. We know you use your phone for internet porn. So
I'm not gonna lie, I use it for that too. But I'm saying
Why are you using the small screen, dude? When you have that big ass TV in front of
You
you.
don't want to get a virus on the computer. You don't want to, have it.
You can AirPlay it. You can AirPlay it to the TV.
who says I don't?
It'll pop up, and then you have someone else come in, like your mom comes to visit or something. It's like, oh shit.
Give it. I have my own place. Fuck that shit. Nobody who's walking in on me.
You knock on the door, it's fucking Mormon people.
I don't care. I'll fucking do it. What? You shouldn't have knocked on my door. You didn't want to see my balls sandwich. You shouldn't have fucking knocked.
Somebody issues a no knock warrant on Phil. Like person.
We found the suspect. We found the suspect with his dick in his hand.
I don't know. See, there's something natural about like using one hand for your phone, one hand for your penis.
Okay, we need that insight.
Phil,
you know how hideous I am? That would be a sad sight to see. Imagine a cops. Imagine watching Cops and seeing that fucking sight. Oh my god!
They blur shit for a reason.
Put that ball sandwich away, man. Jesus Christ! Your kids watching this fucker.
Phil, I'm just curious. Are there any like specific types of porn that military dudes watch? Like,
oh, that's not good.
Dude,
porn.
Well, Gmail.
Oh yeah, with all your shit from Bangkok, that's probably true.
Dude, there's there's some. I'm not going to say popular.
Or am I venturing into PTSD level territory?
But there's fucking weirdos that like tape their own shit and then play it back.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like they have like people. They're like I had a roommate that did that shit. Like he'd bring a girl back,
tape.
bowl her, and then like videotape it, and then a week later he'd be watching that shit. Like,
that's just what I know with the pegging video.
Mm-hmm.
We still need to find that.
Yeah, let's give bounty for that.
I do know that there are like porn stars who will like voluntarily sleep with like military veterans, and I'm always kind of like, but then I'm kind of like, nah, it's not that bad. So
I wouldn't know.
This reminds me of this one time.
Neither would I.
So reading something, and then like this dude's like wife became he went on fucking military duty, and his like wife started making porno. I think it's happened a few times. I think Phil, you had
I told you there was I knew somebody whose wife went into fucking porn.
I saw one. I think it was it wasn't BuzzFeed, but it was one of those stupid shit websites.
Hold on.
One of those like trashy ones, and like it got on there. And I think I saw it on like Pornhub once, and I was like, "This is fucked. This is really fucked."
Let me see here.
People watching this is fucked.
How do we put a bounty out for this video that we need to find? Should we put like a post on Craigslist?
Oh god, fucking Craigslist. I mean, you find some crazy shit on there. Like, I think I was on like the resume section. I think that's what they're using for the porn, like for the sexual services section now. So I was like looking through there, and it was like looking for like a female tickler, and I'm like, oof, I don't know about this.
A tickler?
Yeah.
People hire people to tickle them?
I don't know. It was like a man like trying to go and like hire himself as a tickler.
Oh,
Like you go and tickle females or something. And like there's a bunch of other weird shit. And it was like, hey, looking for a woman who wants to get like knocked up by some random guy. And I'm like, see, I used to see that all the time. Dude. I used to love the personal sections just because of how much depraved shit you could find. I'm so sad they took it down. See, that's the one thing I have a problem with Trump doing is taking down that section because there was some comedy gold on that shit.
I used to see ads that. So what's funny is I once saw like an ad for a camera technician on Craigslist. Basically like a cameraman. But then I read like more into it, and it was like must be comfortable working in like questionable environments, and I after reading into it, I'm like, oh, they want like a porn cameraman or something like that. But it was like,
not to interrupt the porn talk, but big breaking news: the guy that was killed in Portland was wearing a Patriot Prayer hat.
oh shit.
And yet the New York Times, this is their headline. We read this carefully. It says, deadly shooting in Portland after pro-Trump ralliers clash with protesters. So here they're framing it as somebody got killed after Trump supporters showed up and clashed with protesters, peaceful protesters. That's not what happened at all. These are violent rioters and terrorists.
Oh yeah.
We'll continue porn talk.
My God, discreet married female for daytime pleasure. List resumes. Hardworking young man looking for work. I don't know.
So yeah. So I put a fucking porn web page on the fucking on the host chat.
Discord?
Yeah, the Discord host chat. But no,
I'm opening it up.
we used to like she would come through, like there would be times where I'd work gate guard where we check people's IDs and shit.
Oh no.
And like and she would come through the gate every day. Like, and then all of a sudden she just like disappeared for like weeks at a time. And that's when we found the first time that happened was when we found out, oh my God, dude, she left to go to Miami because she was doing some porn shit, and then she decided to go to fucking Los Angeles. And like, so she'd just go away weeks at a time to be shooting these fucking porn videos. And like, and so of course, her husband would be like, he'd be working the gates too. There was one time where he worked the gates, and we played one of her clips. We played one of her clips. It's like, oh my God, I don't think I could fit this in my mouth. And we were just fucking dying. Yeah, it was one of the, like, so big. I don't think I could fit this all in my mouth. And we just started playing it over and over again. It was fucking hilarious.
Wait, so she would come to your base?
Well, no, she lived on base, so she'd go off base, and then she used to work on like a part-time job and then come back on base. So we'd all see her, and so we got along or whatever, but like of course we didn't know that she was like going to be a porn star. Only when the husband's like, man, he told a friend, and then the friend told us, and it was like, oh, she's doing porn now. And I'm like, no shit. And of course, one of my friends who's like into the porn scene, he knew her fucking name and shit, like her stage name. And so they're like, oh my God, you should check this out. So of course we all did, and fucking dying. I was fucking dying. Because the very first video had that, like, I don't know if I can fit it all in my mouth. And we were just fucking dying.
Oh god, I'm waiting for the day when I see somebody I know like in a porn video and it gets like shared around. I'm just like, oh shit.
I don't think we're really gonna see, like, I don't know if, like, I don't know if we're really gonna see it all that much. We see a whole bunch of like e-thoughts with fucking like premium Snapchats and shit. I think that's like
that's a new thing.
Yeah.
Ruined everything. So.
Well, you're in Florida, so you're in Florida. You're probably more likely than any of us to see that shit. Like to see the porn people you know in porn.
There are lots of e-thoughts here though too. Don't get me wrong. So. But...
I found a fucking ad for male nudists seeking cleaning and other household odd jobs. We'll have an old man, a 61-year-old male with a slim build, clean your house while naked.
Oh, I definitely would love that.
See Grandpa with his balls hitting the floor.
Yep.
Beats the butler any day.
God, there's so much shit on.
Let me clean under the bed here. Oh my God, sorry about that.
Imagine if you had a hotel, like it's like instead of the Playboy Mansion, it's the Playboy Hotel, and like the maids, like they clean your rooms, are all like nude, and they just like comment, like, "Hey, you need a cleaning? You need your bathroom scrubbed? You need your carpet cleaned?"
What's this shit? See some weird fucking ad. I don't know what this, some Soros shit.
The thing with it is Playboy is actually tame compared to what's out there now. So.
Well, I'm like doing like a revival that's like raunchier and like more hardcore.
I mean, I like your thing.
Playboy great again.
So it was never really hardcore, you know. You had all those other mags for that. You know, you didn't expect to go and see someone getting like ass pounded and like.
They had Playboy had fucking stopped doing nudity, and then that only lasted like a couple months.
And they're like, shit, sales went down. And man, I didn't see that coming.
And then the brand also kind of died because after Hef died, the magazine decided to go woke, and so it's pretty much Playboy is kind of dead now. So yeah. R.I.P.
Well, I mean, Playboy's gone like online, I guess, but like,
yeah, but
of course they're gonna have
of course
they're gonna do nudity though. You can't just like.
It's not the same thing though. So.
God, this is fucking disgusting.
What, you watching the video?
No, I'm looking at fucking Craigslist. Half of these look like fucking crack whores.
Some of the NSFW subreddits are like, wow, I didn't know that this shit even existed. So.
Yeah, I found one the other day. It was like tweakers, like fucking tweakers, and it was like people on like meth, like doing like stuff, and it's like half of them were like gay dudes like jacking off, the other half were like girls like putting like fucking meth into their asshole. It was pretty disgusting.
I'm pretty sure that Ellen Benjamin did that at some point. So.
This is a labor gig.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, because you're associated with me, you guys are now Gamma Secret Kings now.
Are we banned off of things now?
You're banned from ever going in Ellen Benjamin's chat. Congratulations.
Oh no! What are we gonna do?
I'm really missing out.
Yeah. God.
But
I was really looking forward to being on that fucking chat too.
Me too.
I'm looking forward to the day when Owen basically does a Richard Spencer and endorses.
Speaking of Richard Spencer, I still want to know why Joe Biden has not condemned Richard Spencer's endorsement of him.
Yeah.
Because
how about that, Uncle Joe?
because they're both racist.
Good point. Good point, Corn Pop.
33 Americans have been killed in these riots, by the way, in the entire summer.
Okay, 33 versus how many people died at Charlottesville?
1.
So why do people still bring up Charlottesville endlessly? I mean,
because it is used to smear us.
Yeah, I mean, I know that I'm asking like rhetorical.
Yeah, I know it's a rhetorical question, but I have to remind people.
No, I have to remind people all the time because, like, everyone. I mean, and that was one of the things. I don't know if you saw Scott Adams' video.
Oh, I always watch him. Which one was this?
I think this might have been like today or like last night, but he did a video in which he basically says that like Joe Biden is using the Charlottesville hoax as like his main talking point, right? Because Joe Biden in his speech once again said that Trump said that the neo-Nazis were very fine people, even though Trump never said that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone?
Scott Adams has been saying that ever since Biden launched his campaign, because in that announcement video, it all centered around the Charlottesville hoax, the fine people hoax, and so he's always been actively like getting people to wake up on that.
Well, if
people to promote the hoax, he like goes hard on them because he sees that as such a very like a dangerous lie. And he even I don't know if you saw this one Periscope he did a few weeks ago. He said somebody drove by his house when he was getting the mail and said "fuck you, racist" or something like that, and came quite close to him, but the idiot didn't know that Scott Adams is rich, and he had one of those Ring doorbells and our security cameras, and so he has a guy's license plate, and the cops took him in.
Well, the fact that Joe Biden has basically like has basically built his campaign on Charlottesville. Yeah, you guys should have told me that like months ago, because that definitely means he's going to lose now if he's basing his entire campaign on Charlottesville.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty dumb. But again, we even saw from the beginning, they were trying to pit this all about race selection, really, which is pretty sick and messed up and divisive as hell. But they were trying from the beginning to pit racial groups against each other. And that's what we see in Black Lives Matter now. Look, we didn't, all of a sudden, why is it that all of a sudden cops are back to hunting down black people, innocent black people? They apparently stopped for the past 4 years, and all suddenly, oh my god, it's just like happening everywhere.
Well, notice how when Obama was president, right? We didn't hear anything about white supremacy or anything like that. In fact, when Obama got elected, back in 2009 when Obama was inaugurated, there were op-eds saying that racism is over. Literally.
That's funny.
And so
it's a I like that. I always like those jokes too. Like when they go up, they They put a logo on their helmet. They officially ended racism. Like,
and so
fucking hilarious. Anyway,
and
sorry.
so
Go
we
ahead.
and so my point being, no, it is hilarious because we go from racism is over, hooray, to 12 years later, right? Oh my god, racism is everywhere. It never went away. It got worse. It was hiding the entire time. And it's
And
like
Trump's America just came back.
and it's like
So here let me ask you, like, so how do you see the Senate playing out?
Somebody actually asked me about that. I think we're keeping the Senate.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think so too.
That's going to be the real battle, and I think with the momentum we're seeing, I think we can take the House. I really think we can.
Mhm.
And
I think
we will.
I think we can. I think we can too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like feel like with the House there was things that were done in 2018 that were kind of like dirty, like especially like with the ballot harvesting and shit, like that you're not going to be able to play that same game in 2020. Like you're not gonna like you in 2018 the ballot harvesting sidewinded a lot of the Republican vote. Like you're not going to be able to do that shit in 2020.
Voting in the same numbers. Like that's the bigger problem. Is that I mean I even heard a few people at the office that were like, "Yeah, I only vote every 4 years," and I'm like, "Okay, I don't get that, but okay."
Yeah,
The turnout's going to be way higher, and that's
Yeah.
going to fit for us.
yeah.
but anyway, well guys, I unless we have anything pressing, people are starting to leave the chat, so
Yeah, I guess we'll shut her down too.
Any- any closing remarks, final thoughts, gentlemen?
I'm terrified as to the direction things are going. Well, I won't say direction because that makes it sound like the presidency and Trump. I think Trump's being fabulous, but I am terrified as to what's happening down the streets. Not necessarily terrified in terms of like a civil war. I'm terrified in terms of like how years of progress are being just shattered. Sad.
Yeah, in just
Very
1 year. Oh.
One summer, even.
You know what they say? The tree of liberty must be fed with the blood of tyrants every so often.
Mm-hmm.
You know, communists work too. They're a good substitute.
I hope Rand Paul wakes up and gets off his libertarian high horse then.
I think he's just trying not to get shot anymore or like attacked.
Yeah, but he's making it worse. These people don't care. They burned down churches that have Black Lives Matter on sign.
His
He's getting shot at.
Rand's
I think he has the worst fucking security team ever.
I will say this though, Rand's RNC speech was pretty damn good.
Why do they keep attacking him?
They like easy targets.
Ooh. That's probably true. Perfect way to end this too.
I mean, yeah. Here's something for my libertarian audience. Instead of being a bunch of boogaloo boys, why don't you guys go and be like personal security for Rand Paul? You guys are always talking about how we need to privatize security, right? Privatize security forces. So go be Rand Paul's.
Well, I mean, he's libertarian, which means he can't afford it. So
That's the funny thing. It's like Rand Paul would probably love for the police to be like not necessarily abolished, but you know what I mean. Like, hey, let's give Republic cops. When push comes to shove, literally, he's got them all around him.
I will say, Rand Paul. I'm not talking about Ron. Rand seems slightly more grounded. Well, not slightly. Rand seems way more grounded than his old man does. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they always have some interesting things to say, but it's like I'm kind of tired of it now. I'm like, these people aren't. Owen Shroyer came up with a great term for this. They're not wartime conservatives. You know, they're not really what we need. They're not out there on the front lines fighting. It's like, look, they're worried about the fucking budget when we have like cities burning down. I'm like, what are you doing? But that's a rant for another time.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. You can always like and follow us here at Versa News Media on Twitter. Versa Media here. Please subscribe to us, and please subscribe to Sam's channel as well. Whitfield Report, Sam Whitfield at Sam. Was it NWGC at Sam
W
underscore
at Sam
NWGC.
at Sam W underscore NDC. So
There you go.
And folks, thank you for tuning in to the Whitfield Report. I want to thank you all so much for joining us here tonight. From all here at NGC Studios, both here in Florida and in Pennsylvania. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and good night. God bless. God save this great nation. God, freedom, legacy, in that order, as my friend Mr. John Neer likes to say, and have a good evening. I'll see you next week, folks.
Wash your hands.
Later, Gators.
Take it easy.
Hey there, folks. If you've made it this far to the end of the podcast, I'd like to thank you very much for listening to the show. You are the ones that make it possible for me to make an income from podcasting, and I greatly appreciate that just by listening to our show. You are helping us gain ad revenue. However, if you would really like to help support the show, I encourage you to please donate to the podcast and become a supporter of the show. You can head over to anchor.fm/Whitfield Report and click the support this podcast button and choose the amount that suits you to support the show. Or you can click the link in the show notes and it will directly take you to that page. If you can support the podcast, I really, really appreciate that. Anything that you can do to help out is greatly appreciated. Even if you can't afford to help financially support the podcast, I encourage you to please go on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or Stitcher and please leave this podcast a positive 5-star review. That really helps us out here at the Whitfield Report. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next episode.